Well, good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. Lovely to be with you this morning. We're getting ready, of course, for Padres Brewers Game 2. Actually, we're not. We're not getting ready for that. It would be fun as hell if we were live out here at Elsten. No, we're just in the studio hanging out. It's the offseason, at least for the San Diego Padres. We will certainly talk about that. Had an interesting piece drop over the weekend. Kind of the first of what will be about 1,000 until spring training starts. And listen, it didn't. We didn't get there. Didn't get there again. And Friday was one of my least favorite shows of all time. Today's going to be one of my most favorite because 72 hours goes by. You turn the page. You start looking forward to next year. I'm already there right now. I'm Woodsy. Paul Reindl's our executive producer. Good morning, Paulie.
Hey, how are you?
Doing great, buddy. What happened to you?
I don't know, I'm trying to figure it out.
All right, Paulie's working on himself over there to get himself back on the YouTube feed. Ben Higgins is your friendly neighborhood sports anchor. Benjamin, how are you, my friend?
I am doing good this morning.
Good.
Before I do anything else, I want to quickly acknowledge a Tier 1 who I know is listening from the very start of the show at 6 a.m. every single day. I would like to wish a happy birthday to my mother, Kim Higgins.
Sweet angel.
Yeah.
The sweetest angel that there ever was. Happy birthday, Mama Higgins.
She's
all
like the
love
best
you.
mom ever.
She's an incredible mom to me as well. She is just as good as it gets. And just love her to death. So happy birthday, Kim. Paul, did you want to wish Kim some happy birthday messages too, or are you self-involved with your camera?
Happy birthday, Mom. I love you.
Freaking egomaniac over there, Benny, just messing with his camera. It's jarring to look down and not see Paulie on there.
The problem is if I restart, like if I refresh my computer, it will
Everything goes
kill
away.
the sound.
Everything
Oh,
goes
God.
away. So,
for
Okay,
everybody.
all right. I
So
get it.
I might
get it.
just have to wear it for this segment.
Just here, come sit by me.
Yeah,
It's
sit
fine.
on your lap.
Sit over here by me. It's fine. I've got more. I got more T-ball tales if you guys want them, man. They were a huge hit last Monday. Got several DMs of guys going, dude, I was dying last night.
I have repeated your line because I think it's probably true from last week. T-ball coaches should make about $300,000 a year.
I think I said $1 million a year. I think it should be more like $1 million. I mean, this was yesterday. We had another game. Paulie and I had a game in the morning, and it did not go well. There he is. He's back. Did not go well. We don't have to talk about that. No big deal. So
You were the Yankees. They were the Blue Jays.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, the Yankees scored 7 runs. If you total what the two teams scored together, that's what we lost by. I think it was not. It was inexplicable. But I had to play that game, get in the car, do the old change into coach's gear as I'm driving down to Encinitas Community Park, and I get to the field and I'm early, which is great because some kids showed up, got to rip some ground balls to some kids and work on some stuff early before the game that started at 1. So the game, Cole says your league lets you keep score. No. Mine and Paulie's league keeps score. The T-ballers do not keep score. God forbid you keep score in that. So I get there and game starts at 1 and go one time through the order. Next time, second time through the order. I got this kid, and I won't say his name. I absolutely adore him. He's unbelievable. But this little dude steps up to the plate, and I ask you not. He gets up to the plate. I'm the one that feeds the balls in the tee. He stops. He looks around, calls his shot.
Babe Ruth style.
Yes.
So he calls his shot, and I'm dying laughing. And I go, what are you doing? So I go, all right, let's go. See this? Here's the ball. Here's this red seam. Focus on this red seam. Hit the thing. Swing and a miss. Misses it entirely. I go, all right, yeah, we got it. We're good. So I, situate the ball in there again. Calls a shot again. Does it again. Okay? This is my favorite. He takes the nastiest daddy hack you've ever seen. Bat goes flying up the third base line. Choo, 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 down the line. So I hang my head. I walk over, pick it up. I go, all right, that's enough of calling your shot. He goes, I'm going to get it, coach. Calls a shot again, one more time, the third time. Boom! Hits the tee. The tee goes 15 feet. The ball drops straight down. So this is now three called shots. You have a swing and a miss, a bat fly, and a tee hit. So then I didn't grab him, but I got there and I go, hey, that's enough. We're not going to do this anymore. They're gonna clown you out when you get to real baseball if you do this. This is a valuable lesson. So I go, don't do it again. He gives no BS. He gives me one of these. He gives me a side eye and then goes like this, real quick. Not a full arm extension. He just gives like this. He goes, just a little point.
A casual surreptitious.
Dude, I was crying. He was crying. He goes, just a quick one.
Oh, God, just moves his finger out a few inches.
Just one quick tiny little point. And then he comes up and wham, and missile just hits a seed out into over the shortstop's head. They played pretty shallow. Hits it over the shortstop's head. Gets to first base. He's like, yeah, see? I'm like, oh. So he gets it was
I totally called that.
I called it, bro. I was crying. And you look up at the stands, you see his dad's got his hand in his hand. Oh my God.
Where did he get the idea to do that?
No earthly idea. No idea. Did they do it in Sandlot or I remember
Yes.
I remember Jake Taylor calls his shot and he bunts. I was the bat out of the hands down the line, was my favorite. It was my favorite. It is it's like nothing you've ever seen, these dudes, man. It's such a trip. But it was great. We had a really good game and had a lot of fun. But man, I'm telling you, it's such a scene that you could never. Things happen that you could never wrap your head around happening out there. It's just bananas. So, God love him. He's a good little player, and he's going to be a good little player. But
should get a documentary on it, the life of a T-ball coach.
It would. I think
all the kids mic'd up.
I think it would. I walked out, and one kid was on his. He didn't get off his knees in the dirt the whole game. And so I'm like, get up. And he's just on his knees. And I'm like, if they hit a ball, he's really tiny. Anyway, I go, if they hit a ball, it's going to smoke you in the throat. if Taylor hits it hard, Ryder on our team, these guys mash. If one of the kids on the other teams mash like this, it's going to smoke you in the face. It's going to hit you in the throat. He's like, I don't care. He just sits on his knees and plays in the dirt. I'm like, I don't know what to do other than and I don't want to manhandle kids, but grab it by the nape of his neck and be like, get your ass out. So it is, dude, there is no shortage of entertainment out there. And I know all the other T-ball coaches out there can certainly relate. I mean, it is truly, truly a labor of love. My favorite was the tiny little point. The quick last the fourth point was I'm still going to do it, coach, but I'm just not going to do it as boisterously as I did the last three. It was amazing. I was lying in bed last night thinking about it. I was crying.
Hey, if you're going to do it with your whole chest.
Yeah, say it with your whole chest. And it's like I tell my kids, you want to do it, you better make sure that you do it. You're going to look like an idiot, man. So it was great, dude. It was really, really fun.
I remember my greatest T-ball moment when I was playing, and we were playing at the Parkdale Lane Elementary.
Yeah.
And there was no fence or anything, but there was a blacktop, and we kind of had this, I don't know, unspoken or understood rule that if you hit it on the air to the blacktop, it's a home run. And I did it once, and I don't think the other team knew about it because they went chasing
that
after
unspoken
the ball.
rule.
But I was just trotting around the bases like I had hit the home run. And by the time I got around third, they had finally brought the ball in, and I just told them, no, that's a home run. They were trying to tag me. I go, that's a home run.
That counts.
That counts.
Trust me. It is pretty funny.
Trust me.
Yeah, trust me. That's
Trust me, it's a home run.
We talked about it before the game. It is crazy. The game starts at 1, right? Now by the T-ball rules, the rules are very lax. They're very lax.
Open to interpretation.
I always get there early. So I'm always there early, first one on the field, because that's just who I am. So we're there early. I got 5 or 6 kids, and we're warmed up. We're ready to go. The game officially starts at 1, but every coach is allowed. It's supposed to go like this. Everybody shows up at 1, do a 30-minute practice, and then you start the game around 1:30. Well, I'm always ready to go at 1. My team is always ready to go at 1. We're ready. So go down and talk to the other coach. They're running through drills right at 1 o'clock. They're running through drills and doing their thing. And I was like, he's like, you were going to need about 20 minutes. I'm like, 20 minutes? They're T-ballers. Can't we just get the show on the road? Aren't they going to get maybe more reps, in-game reps? But at least by the time they all hit 3 times through the order, he looked at me. We had 45 minutes left. He goes, let's bang it after this. I go, thank God. Yes, bang it after this. 3 at-bats is the max that we can do. Oh, dude, it was so good. So good. So I'm really enjoying it. I am. It's no shortage of absolute hysterical behavior every single Sunday.
Cole says, I had a kid grind out a 30 swing at bat at the tee yesterday. Finally got his hit, but my Lord.
You just made me have a panic attack, dude. A panic attack. They do that in machine.
Little higher, little lower, little higher,
yeah,
little
come
lower.
on, bud. You got it. All right, not to be a jerk.
Can you imagine a 30 pitch at bat?
Can you imagine a 30 pitch at bat in the big leagues? After about 14 pitches, you're like, God, man, he is grinding. This is incredible. After 26 swings, you're like, figure it out. Just swing and miss. When we would do rookies, right? You're supposed to get anywhere from 4 to 6 swings off of the machine. Some dads would leave their kids up there for 12, 13, 14 swings. I'd look in the field. All my kids are falling asleep. I'm like, buddy, he's not going to get it today. Let's go. We got it. The other coaches, you got to keep this thing moving, man. That's why I've told it before. This is why we're losing kids to basketball, soccer, flag football. Because you want to go out there and play defense when somebody can't hit 14 pitches in a row off a machine. We got to find a way to speed this thing up. To, listen, while they're young, once they get to 8, 9, 10, 11, start playing a little real baseball. That's the good stuff. But while you got them young, you got to keep the game at least semi-entertaining for the kids out in the field. And it is not easy, man. It is an art form to be sure. But I have a blast doing it. It is such a fun thing. Such a fun thing.
Paulie, how's the move going? Are you all settled in now? Not quite.
Oh, my God.
It's going great.
Good.
No, actually, it's going well. We really made a dent on the unpacking, and you start getting stuff up on the walls, some of your art, some lamps in there, and everything. It started to look like a home a little bit. So it's been great. We did have a.
Well, you're not very good at.
This killed me, man. It absolutely
now
killed me.
Now we all know something's coming here. Let Paulie tell his story.
Well, we did have something interesting happen on Friday. We got our first batch of Amazon orders. We moved in on Tuesday.
You got to order some new stuff.
And as you unpack, you're like, all these little things. You're like, oh, yep, need that. Oh, we need that. We were just Costco, Amazon, whatever. Add it to the cart. Just buy it all now. We'll be good. So Friday afternoon, we got our first batch of Amazon deliveries. And Megan was near me. She got a notification on her phone. She was the one that ordered it. Amazon said, hey, you have a delivery. She walks out, grabs the delivery, comes in, opens it up in the kitchen, and goes, that's not what I ordered.
I wouldn't believe it if he did not send us a picture.
Yeah.
I
want to be delicate here.
I got it. I'll do it. It's a marital aid. A female marital aid. Yep. And it was a. Are you going to post the picture? I would. If I were you. You're not going to post the picture.
I don't know if you should post the picture.
No.
Why not?
Because I still don't even know what to do with it.
I'm going to look at it again so that I can better describe it for all of the tier ones out there. It was Friday. Paulie sends this.
Yes.
I'm sitting on the couch.
So,
and I go, there it is. Look at that. That is, what is that?
Looks like a flower.
It looks like a rose.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a rose. And it was sent to Paulie. That's all that's in the box was just that.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't, there's you see down, if you read some of the 15% off, then you see sexy, newest, subscribe. Looks like a one-time purchase. I don't think she's a subscription member because they're asking her to subscribe to this
Megan yells.
marital aid service.
I'm in the other room. Megan like yells, "What is in the box?"
What's in the box?
And I go, "I'm sorry, what?"
Yeah.
I walked out. I had to see for myself. Like, what are the odds? So what happened was,
What are the odds?
we looked back at the box. It was not our package. It was not for our.
Wasn't for you guys.
It wasn't for the old tenants. It was like it was not our address. And we're like, oh my God, they screwed it up.
This is unbelievable.
They screwed something up.
Yeah, they delivered it to the wrong place.
And I assume because Megan got a picture with the delivery notification that had a package at the door.
Right,
so I would assume
he had a couple of boxes for the same area.
Same
And
area.
he just grabbed the wrong box.
So I'm
Happens
assuming
all
the
the time.
person that was expecting their flower toy, they also have a picture with a notification that shows my doorstep.
So there's that. I think we know where that goes. What is this for? Is that like you squeeze a bulb or something? What is it?
I don't know. Woods, I have never used one of those.
Huh. Well, the ratings are good on it. It's very well rated.
Yes.
Very well rated.
So this belongs to a neighbor of mine.
Which is awesome.
And we don't know what to do.
I know exactly.
We taped up the package and I put it back out on the doorstep. Because she knows where it's at.
She does. She's been notified that it's been delivered. And she goes, oh God, it's been delivered, but it wasn't delivered here.
House.
It wasn't delivered here.
Dude.
So someone has it. Definitely opened it because you don't even look when you get packages. You just rip through.
We got the notification. We were expecting a delivery.
I mean,
you just
grab
it.
Expecting a package, and then sometimes you're looking.
Then you look and go, "That's not for me."
That's not for me.
I get stuff from my neighbors all the time.
Expecting a bunch of packages. You're not specifically looking to see. Oh, this is definitely for me. You're just opening it and going, "Which one is this?"
Well,
and you open it up and they go. Oh.
Being that we are in an information age, you can actually look up somebody. And look up there, and if I got Ben Higgins, package delivered for Ben Higgins, and it's a bunch of golf balls, and I'll go, Ben Higgins, that sounds familiar. I look it up, and I go, oh, there he is. Well, Paulie did it. He looked up who his neighbor,
now
who it might
now
belong
we're delving
to.
into territory that seems a little
I don't know what you're talking
wrong.
about. I didn't do that.
You did. You sent us a picture. She's pretty attractive. So
why are you doing this?
She's pretty attractive. She's a pretty attractive neighbor.
This is not fair. This is not fair.
Now,
you want to just tell her name, too?
Yeah, here. I'll give her her address as well. So Paulie sent us the picture, and I went,
what if she's a tier 1 and listening right now?
Hey, it's nothing to be ashamed of.
No, it's true.
Not a damn
we
thing.
don't know that was her either.
Yeah, you don't know. Could have been another blank, but he did look her up, and she is pretty attractive. And she was with her boyfriend, so he's stoked. Or is he like, why did you do this? Am I not enough for you? There's a lot of different layers to this onion. There's a lot.
It was like something out of a movie.
It's a lot of petals to peel off this rose, Ben. She loves me. She loves me not.
Bro.
She loves me. She loves me not. She loves me. She loves me not. Look how red Paulie is right now.
It was very uncomfortable.
It's not yours.
No, I know it's not. And I wouldn't care. But I'm like, what do we do with this damn thing?
What if it was Megan's and she put somebody else's name? She's like, damn it was supposed to go to her. She was going to give it to me.
God.
All right.
It was like written out of a movie or a TV.
It's right out of a movie.
Because
I wouldn't have believed it.
It wasn't a T-shirt. It wasn't like
jeans.
anything else you could buy on Amazon. Of the millions of products that you could buy,
billions maybe, billions of things.
Please deliver this one correctly. Just this one.
When Megan said it,
we can deal with it. Just don't deliver this one to the neighbor I haven't met yet.
Do not biff this one.
Dude.
Ple's don't biff this.
Bro, when
delivery.
she said what was in the box, I go, nuh-uh. I was like, no.
It's unbelievable.
You think it's that, it's something else. It's not that.
It's unbelievable.
Nope, it's absolutely
I can't stop looking at it. It's unbelievable. What goes where is what I want to know.
I'll tell you later.
You know?
Yeah, I know.
She's cute.
Stop.
Hell yeah. Well, listen. So what you do is this, and it's not comfortable because I think I told this on the air about maybe 6 months ago. we get My wife orders so much stuff on Amazon. It's not even funny. So one day, big old box comes, and I had some stuff being shipped, and I didn't think twice, and I opened it up, and I'm like, what is this? It looked like it was something that I ordered in my Ambient Haze, because there was like all this proteins and all this stuff, and I was like, oh man, all right, I'm like, did I order this? And then I looked, I was like, wrong name. So I had to find the neighborhood. I taped it back up, didn't take anything out of it, taped it back up, but it was a gated community. Remember this?
Mhm.
And I had to sneak in with this huge box. It was a giant horseshoe. Guess where the house was? The top of the horseshoe. So I'm walking. I look like a bum, dude, just walking with this guy's box all the way around, pouring sweat. Then I had to walk all the way back down to my car that was parked outside the gate. I was like, this sucks. I felt like such a good Samaritan. You're going to have to, you taped it up already. You guys didn't use it or anything.
No.
Right? All right. Yeah. The box is still shrink wrapped.
Shrink wrapped. Everything is, nothing was touched.
You tape it up.
How much did you make the outside box look like you hadn't opened it though? Were you
It was
able
pretty
to?
good. I used a blade to like open it, so it was clean cut, and then I just threw a layer of like packing tape
back
over
on
it,
top of it.
and
Yeah.
it looks good as new.
And you just now you know the address, you know the name, we know what she looks like. You can just go over surreptitiously, maybe before work one morning, and you just drop it on the porch and you walk away.
Or if
And
they have a ring cam.
I know. Put a mask on. That'll calm everybody's nerves.
Put a Freddy Krueger
No,
mask.
I got it. Grab some of Megan's pantyhose, pull them over your face, and then go drop it off at about 4:30 a.m. You'll be fine.
Just stare.
Dude,
Tonight on ABC 10, a string of bandits, but instead of stealing,
they give it back.
they're leaving
Good
adult
Samaritan.
toys around San Diego.
The Good Samaritan bandit. Yeah, he's been spotted with some nude pantyhose. I love it so much. I love it. I'm so happy. Like, I'm sorry for her, but I'm so happy
Like
that
I
happened to you.
feel
Polly.
awful for this person because
She's been sweating
have
for
to be
72 hours.
mortified.
Yes, 72
A,
hours.
you're probably looking forward to that purchase.
Of course you are. You want to get that thing cranked
You're
up
like,
as quick
oh,
as
sweet.
possible.
Next day delivery, I'll have this tomorrow. Oh my God, it went to somebody else. What
Oh.
do I do?
I am just screaming. Roman Martinez in the chat says, talk sports already. Roman, you're on the wrong station. You're on the wrong station. We are in the off season.
At least for the first half.
At least
hour.
for the first half hour, buddy. We're going to have some fun. We're going to have some fun today. Life is about having fun. And really, life is about pleasure. Pleasuring yourself sometimes if you have to, by any means necessary. So, Paulie, get that back to her ASAP. She's going to need that soon. But that killed me. It was just brilliant.
All
I
right,
really
that's,
could not believe it.
that
I
is
can't believe
certainly
it.
a way to get started this week on
Oh.
Ben and Woods. Let's take our first time out. We can come back and set the menu for the program. We will be talking some Padres baseball as we get you ready for the offseason. It will be another busy one. If any AJ Preller has anything to say about it, but I guess the first question is, will AJ Preller have anything to say about it, as we have heard nothing yet from the San Diego Padres.
Very quiet,
no
man.
word on any postseason news conference, exit interviews,
Oh, it makes me
etc.
nervous.
So a little
Yeah.
quiet in Padres land over the weekend, and it's fine. You can give them a few days to decompress, but at some point, usually there is a post-mortem at the end of the baseball season, but we haven't heard anything about it yet. We'll set the menu, get you ready for the Monday edition of Ben and Woods coming up next year on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. First, though, it is fire season. I know it's October. We haven't had the huge Santa Ana winds yet, but they could be coming, at any time.
Yep.
And when they do, you know what that can mean for our community, which means SDG&E, which provides the power for our community, tries to be proactive to make sure that, well, they're not the ones that start a giant wildfire in San Diego.
Yeah, exactly. And they want to obviously help save your life if it's possible. We've been talking all weekend about fire plans and stuff in our neighborhood. We are kind of pinched in as well, but it's up to all of us to take the responsibility to make sure that you have all of your contact information updated with SDG&E so that they can alert you in case you do have to skedaddle. You got to get out of there. So it's pretty simple. Sign up for outage notifications at sdge.com/notify or download the alerts by SDG&E app. Again, being prepared is all of our responsibility.
They take the process very seriously with their team of forecasters up to 10 days in advance. They refine their forecast, and as they get closer, you can actually get notified a day, 2 days in advance that a power shutoff could be coming. So you can make preparations, obviously, perishable foods, things like that. You want to move them into coolers. They'll let you know, and then they'll let you know as soon as the power is back on, and you can safely start using all your appliances again. But you have to go to sdgne.com/notify. Download the alerts by SDGN app. That's sdgne.com/notify. And we'll be back after traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
Hey, player, this is all yours. This room with this view. This speakeasy with this cocktail. Hey, could you make that too? The spa with this. Ah. and this pool on this roof. This is all for you. The all-new Hamul Casino Resort, now open.
All right, we are underway on a Monday here with Ben and Woods. If you missed our opening Foreplay segment, Paulie's first community barbecue at his new residence is going to be potentially an interesting one.
It's going to be lit is what it is, dude. It's going to be great. Kids still say lit because I like it. I like it.
Why not? Here's what we got coming up. Set the menu for the program. We'll start talking baseball. Padres off-season, kind of set the table for some of the issues that the Padres need to, or at least will try to address this offseason, the shortcomings that led to their elimination in the wild card round against the Chicago Cubs. So we'll talk Padres baseball early. Do
we need to talk more about the shortcomings that led to our demise against the Chicago Cubs?
How are you ever going to fix them if you don't identify them and address them?
I was wondering.
They've been identified.
I was wondering if over the weekend, because, I mean, they lost on Thursday. We had to come in on Friday morning. Like, after having a few days to just let it settle, do you have more clarity or closure on how it all ended?
I feel great.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, sounds like it. We don't have to. We don't have to talk about it anymore. We can talk about what can we do now. We got to move.
That's
forward.
what I mean.
We got to move.
What can we do to move forward?
We ourselves,
the Padres, can do to move forward.
I've got some ideas.
All right.
I've got some big ideas.
We're also 6 games into the Division Series rounds in the American and National League, so we'll have some baseball to talk about from over the weekend. How hard is it for you guys to watch baseball?
Not even a little bit. I get
Not
that
even
all
a little
I
bit.
get that all the time. Every year, somebody, I don't know how you do it, man. I'm like, I am sitting at rapt attention for every single game. I do not miss one single pitch unless I absolutely have to, if I'm coaching or doing something.
It's a lot easier for me to just flip it off. Like,
no, not me.
If
I love
I'm
it.
if
God,
there's
I
a 3-run home run and now the game's out of
Yeah,
reach,
yeah.
I'm like, all right,
That makes
cool,
sense.
I'm out of here.
Yeah, like the Yankees game yesterday. You're like, I don't need to
I
watch
had
this.
No interest in that.
I did flip over to football, but it's appointment viewing for me.
So I was watching and, flipping around baseball, watching most of the games. But when the Cubs-Brewers game, first one came on, and my son was there, he goes, I can't watch this. Turn it off.
Really?
It was the one. He could watch the other ones, but the one that he knew the Padres should be playing in. They won.
And
that was the one he said, I don't want to watch this. And then once the Brewers started winning, he said, okay, you can turn it back on.
Yeah, I
I think he didn't want to see the Cubs doing well.
I think for me, I love the playoffs so much. I mean, I love the playoffs so much that I don't miss a game. I don't know what that says about me as a fan. I'm not saying it doesn't sting. It does, man. You're talking about guys that come in here, 162 games a year and are just as deep into this team as you can get. They're our greatest joy and passion and frustration. But when they're done, it's like, all right, well, they're done. Turn the page and move on. And hate watching is sublime. I mean, it is a sublime way to watch baseball. Yeah, until it's not.
Until Teoscar hits a 3-run bomb, and you're like,
sure.
all right, what else is on?
For sure. But
Let's catch up on Love is Blind.
God, I love it. I absolutely love the playoffs. I don't miss a pitch. It doesn't break my heart to watch. We all kind of thought last week, we're like, man, if we had just gotten through Chicago, Milwaukee, we would have handled them. Good God, man. They looked phenomenal. And, Chicago started playing out of character, and we'll go through all the games and stuff, but I just love watching the games, man. I am all in still.
Middle of the program, we'll have our regular Monday guests, at least for now. Craig Elsten will join us at 7:35, Padres Hot Tub Podcast, and Chromaniacs. We can discuss SDFC's big, dramatic road win on Saturday over Houston, 4-2. They got 2 goals very late to break a 2-all tie. Well, I was 1-1. They took the lead late. They let them tie it back up, and then they scored twice to put it away. Just tons of goals in the last 10 minutes or so of the match. And
historic season. Very
tight. They have set the record now for the most expansion wins ever and most points by an expansion team in MLS history. So congratulations to Mikey Varas and his crew. 2 games left, and it's tight. They're tied now atop the standings in the Western Conference, 2 points ahead of the third place team. So it's going to come down to these last couple of games, and we'll talk about that with Craig, and we'll talk more Padres with Dennis coming up at 8:35. Of course, all of our guests here on 97.3 The Fan appear on the David P. Shapiro Fan Hotline. Facing criminal charges, trust David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys, helping clients regain control since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com. Outside of that, we have our usual features like Don't Do This, Take on Woods. We are done with the prize for the Eagles at the Sphere in Las Vegas. But
I got to see who won that, man.
I don't know if they've announced it yet. If you've been contacted, we had, I think, 7 qualifiers or 8 qualifiers in our show last month. But how about this?
I know who won. You should be getting a phone
Paulie
call
does know.
or an email here
give him a chance to identify it, and then we can talk about it this week. But how about this for the new prize here in the month of October? 2 tickets to see Jerry Seinfeld at the Coliseum at Caesars Palace coming up in April, and a 2-night stay at the Flamingo and a $100 gas card. We got tickets to Jerry Seinfeld.
I think he's doing
this
2
month.
dates in Vegas. Yeah,
that's pretty exciting. So we'll have another great prize for Take on Wood starting today at 8:20. Reindl Report. We will get into some of probably the NFL, college football over the weekend. Pretty impressive win by the Aztecs on Friday night as well over Colorado State. The offense came to life with Jaden Denegal at quarterback on Friday night. I watched some of that game, and it's like, okay, who is this team that we're watching?
How do you go 6-3 in the game before?
45-24.
Like, go out there and slinging it all over the field, but good for them. I know they're wanting to get more people to watch that team in person. Still a very, very light crowd, Ben. But, you keep doing that. That's what I was talking about. It's like, and you were talking about it too. Like, you keep winning and an exciting brand. Like 6-3 ain't, you could win every game 6-3. You're not going to get people to go to the stadium to watch a 6-3 game. You're just not. Games like that, you're hanging 45 points. The people love
last
offense.
2 home games, 34-0 over Cal, 45-24 over Colorado State.
Very good.
Those are the kind of performances that should start getting some people into the seats at Snapdragon Stadium.
The highest rated offense in college football this weekend, the highest graded was the San
Diego. At least one metric, like said, no one performed better on offense than the Aztecs.
The San Diego State Aztecs. Who would have had that? Who would have had that? So congratulations to them. It's spectacular. That's a spectacular win. And, good for them.
They'll be on the road at Nevada this week. They don't have another home game until November, so got to get through a couple of road games and a bye week to keep the momentum going before they come back home. And if they do, like to see more people at Snapdragon Stadium for that next home game in November. Also, let's see. We've got, the rest of the football to talk about as well. But let's start. I've got a list. I don't know if you have a list, but I made a list of off-season issues I'd like, the Padres need to tackle, or at least try to tackle going forward.
Now, you didn't tell me that we were doing a list. If you had said, "Hey, come up with your list,"
it's not a countdown. It's not. I don't think it's comprehensive either.
With a list, I have a grid. So I did a grid. I'm actually doing it right now as we speak.
Really just kind of came off the top of my head. I just kind of wanted to write down a few things that seemed like they were important. So we'll start in on a Monday with Padres off-season issues that need to be addressed coming up after traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic alert remains in effect South 5 coastline. This overturned motorhome past Mission Avenue. Just that right lane is blocked as crews clean up some debris left over from that accident. That's South 5 past Mission Avenue. Fortunately, no other trouble spots on our roads at this time. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
And Woods was just mentioning during traffic. Let's mention the piece that Kevin Acee wrote this weekend in the Union Tribune. That was part of the inspiration for the list I put together of things that need to be tackled. And I thought it was interesting that one of the first things that Kevin Acee wrote about is that a contract for A.J. Preller is one of the first items on the table for the San Diego Padres this offseason.
He's got 1 year left.
Correct.
And that would that would make him the quote, a lame duck GM. And nobody wants to go into a season as a lame duck manager, a lame duck GM. Makes it very difficult to do your job. Makes it very you suspect that they don't have the utmost confidence in you if they have not given you a contract extension, which again, if you're going to judge AJ Preller on division titles and rings, which I think ultimately that's how every GM is judged, right? Then you would say, okay, we're not going to extend him. I disagree entirely. It's the best 2 seasons back-to-back that the San Diego Padres have ever had. Why upset the apple cart now? Let's keep it rolling. It's not, you don't get this job in perpetuity, right? Like there's got to be an end date. So maybe you say 3-year deal. Here's a 3-year deal, and we need division titles. We need a World Series appearance at least, my God. But I am of the opinion that our farm system is so depleted by A.J. Preller that only A.J. Preller can build it back up.
It's convenient if you're AJ Preller.
It's absolutely convenient if you're AJ Preller. You're like, I depleted it, but only I'm the one that can fill it. And here's the thing, though. They know that. They know he's the only one on the planet that can do what he's done. He's done it over and over and over.
Paulie, what do you think? Because I'm going to push back a little bit.
I was going to say it is reasonable for any team that's had a GM for 10 years with, let's be honest, not a ton of great results. For them to move on, for the team to say, you know what, it's been 10 years and we have not won. It's time to move on.
Don't you bracket
that makes
it, though?
Sense. Hang on, that makes sense. I think that would be the wrong move.
I do too. Don't you bracket his tenure? Because every year and season is not created equal. Let's not pretend that they are.
Right.
He didn't take that job 10 years ago and say, I expect to win a World Series this year. No. Now, bro, he has made some bonehead moves. But for every bonehead move, I feel like there's been 2 to 3 really savvy moves, really smart moves. Also, we need to take into consideration, Ben and Paul and Tier 1s. I think some of the moves that he made over the last 5 years were not his moves. I don't think they were his. I don't think it was in his control per se. I think he was overruled. In fact, I know he was overruled on a couple of deals that went down. We don't have to name names. Any Padre fan worth his or her salt knows exactly what we're talking about. That wasn't him. That wasn't him. And as AZ Jimmy says, we always ask you this. Play it forward. Fast forward the tape, whatever you want to say. Who do you get that's better? And who do you get that keeps this thing rolling? Because for me, that's the most important thing. Keeping this train rolling a little bit. And postseason appearances is, in fact, your train is rolling. 90-win seasons is, in fact, your train is rolling, right?
Yeah, I said last week, I don't want to go through another growing period with a new fresh-faced GM because we went through that with AJ Preller.
It's crazy how many people do want that.
And he's gotten better at his job over the years. So in that sense, I don't necessarily want to see them make a move. But what I want to push back on is what you said at the beginning. Why can't he go into a lame duck season as general manager? It's not even like a manager where the players are, hey, I don't know if I'm going to be playing for this guy in another year. Is he really? Do they have confidence in him as manager? They didn't extend him. The GM doesn't really have, day-to-day interactions with his players. AJ has more than most, but you don't sign. No, there's no player that signs and goes, I want to play for this GM in particular. They want to play for an organization. Sure. They want to play with their teammates. They want to play for a manager. And you might want to have some stability there. Coaching staff, managers.
I disagree.
But I just don't know.
Shohei has it in his contract that if their GM leaves, he can leave. So I don't buy it. He's the best player in the world, and he has it in his contract. If Friedman goes, I go.
The argument is if you put a GM into a corner like that with a year left on his deal, he might do some rash things.
He's always done rash things.
He's always done rash things, though. It's not as though you're going to change his personality by making him play out the last year of his contract if you wanted to do that. What's the worst case scenario? He has an unbelievable year next year and makes him more expensive. You might lose him to another team. Yeah. I guess if you're worried, are you worried about losing AJ Preller at the end of this next season?
I am worried.
All right, if that's your motivation, then yeah, you go out and extend him. If you're not worried about losing him,
I am.
I don't think there's any rush necessarily to get the deal done. He's going to GM the way he GMs. I don't think his contract status has anything to do with it. I personally think he's the best choice for the job right now for the San Diego Padres. I'm not going to go out and give him a 6-year deal, though, right now. He doesn't have a ton of leverage at the moment.
I didn't say 6 years. I said 3 years.
I know, but I
give him a 3-year deal, another 3-year deal.
How about a 1-year extension then?
Okay, 1-year extension's fine.
How much leverage does AJ have right now?
The 2 best seasons back-to-back that the San Diego Padres have ever had.
But with early playoff exits. Other fan bases want to see their team, just like Padres fans, go deep into the postseason.
He's got the players to do it. The players got to figure out how to get through the October
hump.
Isn't
his job just to construct a roster that can get you to the playoffs?
Which he did. He absolutely did. And it's on then the skipper, and it's on the players to say, we're tired of failing in October. It's certainly not AJ. We talk about all the time. After that trade deadline comes and he's back to scouting and doing all the things, he washes his hands of it. And you couldn't have put together a better trade deadline for everything we needed this year than AJ Preller did.
You're putting me in a hard spot because I am an AJ Preller fan. But play it out. You give him a 3-year extension right now. What happens if the Padres have a bad year this year?
Which is very
in
possible.
2026.
I mean, the Mets spent almost the most money. They didn't make the playoffs.
And you just extended him.
They kept their GM.
You didn't have a gun to your head. You don't have to extend him. You extend him for 3 years. Now you've got a GM that you got to buy out for 3 years if you want to get rid of him next year when you didn't even have to extend him this year. Why extend him unnecessarily? That's my only argument.
So that somebody else doesn't get him. Why do you keep a player? So somebody else doesn't get him.
Yeah, that's how I always look at it when we talk about coaches or your executives like this and their future with their contracts is put it this way, play it forward this way. Let's say AJ Preller gets fired at noon today. How long before he's got another team on the phone?
12:45. He's got a job.
Right. So that tells
Colorado
me
Rockies, give him a call.
Yeah, but he's
looking for a new
Steve
president
Cohen's
of
calling.
baseball
I
operations.
literally think Steve Cohen, and really honestly, based on how the Yankees have played, I think Hank Steinbrenner is calling the New York kid and saying, come on back.
I think
Come
there
on
are
back.
multiple teams playing right now. Even that would be like, oh crap, AJ Preller's available.
Well,
like
he'll
that
certainly have a
changes things.
job in baseball
So
somewhere.
he'll be
Will he
running
be
a
as president
team.
of baseball
Yes.
operations?
Yes, I
don't
think
know.
so. And that tells me that maybe you shouldn't let the guy go.
I'm telling you, man. I think Hank Steinbrenner would be his for Brian Cashman.
You can see a situation like in St. Louis where they hired Keim Bloom a year in advance.
Yeah.
And made him the heir apparent, where maybe Cashman's ready to retire in a year and AJ comes in under his wings and then, rises to the position in a year or two. I could see a situation like that if he leaves San Diego.
I mean, where's the guy from? He's from New York. The Yankees are kind of like the Cowboys now. They don't win a ton. They make the postseason. They don't get to the next level. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think
the Mets would be a perfect fit.
Both. I mean, absolutely both or either. I don't want to lose it. 5 years ago, if you asked me this question, I said 5 years ago, I think we're ready for a new voice. But after this era of Padres baseball, all of my blame shifts to the players.
If you split his 10-year,
the players that
here,
AJ brought aboard.
Yeah. I mean, but he built the roster. It's the same thing. Like, you look at what the Mets did. They spent a ton of money. They spent it in a lot of wrong places. They didn't even make the playoffs in an extended playoffs. They kept their GM. They're going to see this thing through. We have seen, again, I can't belabor that point enough, Ben. You know damn well, and I know damn well, that every move that this team has made wasn't 100% rubber stamped by that guy. You know that for a fact. We all do. So that's unfair to categorize that and put that in his tenure. Sometimes your boss makes you do stuff you don't want to do. That happens all the time.
But some of the bad decisions that haven't worked out are on AJ, as every GM makes good and bad decisions. Watch
the Mariners series, right? Like you watch the Mariners, you go, oh my God, Andres Munoz, Matt Brash, Josh Naylor, like these are good players.
I don't know if there's a more polarizing GM because there are people who will defend AJ and say he is maybe one of the best at his job. And there are people who will say he's one of the worst. Maddie in our chat says, AJ must have dirt on the morning show. AJ has done nothing in how many years? Peter spent the money to get the talent that has got us to be winners. AJ's moves consistently make the team worse.
Maddie, you're a sweet kid, buddy. And I do love you. I do. But you're a sweet kid.
But he's polarizing. He's not the only Padres fan that thinks that way about AJ Preller.
Yeah. I mean, look, Tatis, Arise, Manny Machado, those guys are good players. They didn't come through in October. I'm not putting that on AJ Preller. I'm sorry. I'm not. That's not his fault. It's their fault and their fault alone.
I think really after the trade deadline, you kind of have to take AJ out of the equation.
There's no question.
It's players,
it's
and
manager.
It's
manager and players after the trade deadline. And did he have a successful trade deadline? The answer is yes. Now, I have ultimate faith that he can rebuild the farm system. How do I have ultimate faith? Because I've seen him do it every single solitary year. Every year.
I definitely agree with you there. All right, 1 hour in the books. The list is still long. We can talk more about Padres offseason moves and the rest of the playoffs coming up in hour number 2. Ben Woods next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
It's a hot button topic, Ben. You have pressed the hot button in the off season. I feel like we maybe burned it a little too early this year. Now we're not having anything to talk about the rest of the week. But no, look, people have their opinions. Your opinions are all valid. You can't argue at all. I can't sit here and argue and tell you, oh no, he's got plenty of division titles and rings to fall back on. He doesn't. I can't. You're right. You have me there. But again, you can't argue the fact that this is, as Jesse Agler always says, the golden era of Padres baseball, playoffs 4 out of the last 6 years. Get to the dance and see what happens. And I put the onus again on the players. Once they get to the dance, we've got teams that are good enough to win it all. 2 come to mind. 3 come to mind in the last 6 years. Teams that should have and could have won it all. They're 3 out of the last 6 years. There's a couple of those playoff years. You're like, hey man, I'm just happy to be here. This year wasn't really one of those. 23 should have won the World Series with that team. And certainly last year, even the Dodgers said you were the World Series champions had you just pulled your head out of your ass. So I give him credit for that. He has had moves that have made me bananas, as you're watching Andres Munoz close the game out last night. Right? Matt Brash did actually serve it up, but he's nasty. There's no question. There are guys littered around the league that are good players that A.J. Preller has traded.
That move was over 5 years ago.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah, 5 years ago.
That's a different era almost entirely.
It is.
I love how we're stretching this conversation out. We're literally one sentence into Kevin Acey's offseason piece.
Okay, sentence 2.
The Padres, this is the sentence that we've spent 30 minutes discussing now. The Padres decision makers will meet in the coming weeks to go over many things, including discussions regarding an extension for President of Baseball Operations, A.J. Preller, and talks about the status of members of the coaching staff. In fact, we're only halfway into the sentence because the second half of the sentence is also pretty interesting here, and that is talks about the status of members of the coaching staff. And again, this is always a prickly issue because it's impossible to just lay all the blame on one coach. We've done it so many times with the hitting coach.
So many times.
Here in San Diego. But at some point, you also have to realize, how can that really be the right answer when it wasn't the right answer every other time you fired the hitting coach? So you can do it again and bring in someone else and change the message, change the philosophy. They were very excited about their philosophy this year. Remember how excited they were about Petco Park baseball and, gap to gap line drives and how this was going to be the way that you were going to succeed. And then by the end of the year, when the power numbers were down and they weren't, hitting home runs at, third worst in baseball in home runs.
One of the worst offenses.
What a terrible philosophy you had this year.
Well, again, you talk about numbers, right? So if you want to say A.J. Preller has no rings and no division titles, I can't argue with you there. There's no argument. You're right. You can't argue with those numbers that we had one of the worst offenses in baseball. One of the worst offenses in baseball, especially from a slug power OPS perspective. We were at the bottom, and so that is one that you look at and go, okay, now fast forward that, play that forward. Who is available that's better? I got a question. I did this last night. I'll give you guys, either of you guys. I don't
know who the Blue Jays hitting coach is.
No. Ben, who's the Dodgers hitting coach?
I don't know who the Dodgers hitting coach is.
Any idea?
No.
I don't know that I can name any hitting coaches in baseball.
I know Kevin Long, and I think he was still with the Phillies.
Brett Boone.
We know Brett Boone, Texas Rangers.
And now they have a new manager. There's no even guarantee that they're going to keep the same coaches.
That's true. I have been talking with Skip. I may be.
Are you saying that a tier one is going to fire another tier one and one of his first acts as manager?
Could you imagine?
Oh
my God.
Seems like that's just wrong. Tier one on tier one crime.
Yeah, this is gonna be awkward for all of us. But there was I looked it up last night and I had forgotten already. Not Adrian Brody. He's an actor.
That's right. He is.
He was in
It is LA.
He was in The Pianist. I did look this up last night.
They have 2 hitting coaches.
Yeah, go ahead.
Aaron Bates.
Yeah, Aaron Bates.
And Robert Van Scoyoc.
Scoyoc or something. Right. They're pretty good. But their players are also very, very good. We have good players, and we said it many times this year. Why aren't we slugging? We have actual sluggers on this team that just don't slug anymore. Why is that? Did you see the name that surfaced over the weekend of a former big leaguer who was really ready to get back into the dugout and to be a full-time hitting coach for a team. Did you see the name that was floated around all weekend? And I read it and I laughed, and then that's all I thought about for the entire weekend. His name is Manny Ramirez. He wants to get back and be the hitting coach for a big league team. Now, think about Manny, the player. Incredible. Hall of Fame, talent. Obviously, I don't think he'll get in because of his extracurriculars. The guy could hit. He's the best right-handed hitter I've ever seen in my life, ever. But he would do weird stuff. Like they would say Manny being Manny. Is he focused and dedicated enough to go 162 and beyond in spring training with these guys? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I'll tell you this. I watch his videos all the time. The guy could still hit 245 at the big league level today. He's unbelievable. He's a huge name.
Well, why are we hiring him as a hitting coach then?
Just hire him as an DH. Benny, would that do anything for you? A guy like Manny Ramirez?
Here's the problem. I know the person who knew hitting the best in all of baseball in history.
Tony Gwynn.
Yep. Was never really able to convey that information.
Yeah, because you're not Tony Gwynn.
To his students. And so I don't know who's going to be an effective hitting coach or not. And keep in mind that where you're the hitting coach matters. Petco Park is different. Dodger Stadium was actually, I think it might have even been number one in helping home runs this year. It used to be a pitcher's paradise. Not anymore. Whatever has happened at Dodger Stadium, the ball for both the Dodgers and opponents carries very well there. Their power strategy works. Simply switching to we need to pull the ball more strategy isn't an automatic win at Petco Park. It's a tough place to be a hitting coach. It always has been.
I heard a story yesterday from a friend that is in the business, and this is going to sting a little bit. But this friend was with 4 big leaguers that are currently big leaguers in. You heard this?
I heard this story.
Yeah, I heard this in the dugout yesterday. A friend works in the game of baseball and was in the hitting lab watching Christian Yelich. It was Yelich, Bellinger, and a couple other players. And he was just watching, and he worked there, and they're like, "Hey, what's your name? Hey, I'm so and so. Do you have any questions? You want to ask us anything?" He goes, "I have one question for you guys." He goes, "I've been a Padre fan my whole life. Do you guys find it hard to hit at Petco Park? Is it hard to hit at Petco? Do you come into Petco and go, oh God, we got to hit at Petco? Is it one of those?" And it was actually Christian Yelich that looked at him and laughed. He goes, "It's hard for the Padres to hit at Petco because the Padres don't have any hitters." That's what he said. He goes, "Nobody else on the planet thinks of it like this. Nobody." He goes, "If you have hitters, you don't really care where you hit. You just don't. If you have good hitters and hitters, you don't panic." That's from 4 big leaguers that all.
When was that though?
Like 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago. He says, "No, if you're a good hitter, and Petco Park doesn't freak you out at all." And we saw other teams. I think they had 14 more home runs than we did at Petco Park this year. So maybe it's in their head. Maybe it's the philosophy from day one. If the philosophy is, "Hey guys, it's really hard to hit here. It's really tough. So we're going to change our entire offensive approach. We're going to bunt a ton. We're going to bunt 50% more than the next team." Maybe it's a mental thing, because it certainly was for these 4 all-star MVP caliber hitters that were hitting in the cage.
The statistics do show it's true. No park suppressed ball flight more than Petco Park did this year.
None.
It was the
hardest park to hit in.
The barreled balls traveled the least far at Petco Park as any baseball park in all of Major League Baseball. It was the hardest to get the ball to travel furthest. So you'd barrel the ball, and it would die at the warning track, which we saw so many times this year. Balls that would be home runs other places and would die at the warning track at Petco Park. So you can't just say that it doesn't exist, because it does. The stats show that it exists.
I'm not saying it. Christian Yelich is saying it.
Right.
Steve Woods is not saying that it's not hard to hit a Petco. Christian Yelich is saying if you have good hitters, you don't worry about it. And again, they don't look at it. The opposing teams don't look at it as some house of horrors to come into. It's not the Polo Grounds. I
don't know when this conversation happened.
It was 2 years ago.
Because I do feel like now they do have good players. They do have good hitters.
Yeah.
I really believe that. I believe Fernando Tatis Jr. is still a good hitter. I believe Manny Machado is a good hitter. Xander Bogaerts was a good hitter this year. I think Jackson Merrill's got it in him. Gavin Sheets came out of nowhere and showed some slug. I wonder, was it just a philosophy thing? Like,
Yes.
we're tweaking our launch angles. We're not going for the home runs. We're going to go for contact and getting on base. If that was in fact philosophy, where is that coming from? Does it need to be changed? Number one,
The answer
I
is
say
yes.
yes, but I guess that's open to interpretation. And where is that coming from? Is it coming from Mike Schilt? Because then a new hitting coach isn't going to change anything.
Right.
Or was it Victor Rodriguez said, this is the key to success? Clearly it was not. Then you can make a change.
Look, the Manny Ramirez idea is crazy. It's bananas, bat-ass crazy, right? But it's a name. It's a name, and he's out there, and he wants to get back into it, and the guy's an elite hitter. So I don't think they would, but it's bananas.
What star player ever became a great hitting coach? Like,
so they were just talking about Barry Bonds in the chat, and I'm like, yeah, but he was with the Marlins. I don't know. But I do think, look, we can't belabor, I can't beat that horse anymore. Enough with this. I'm going to sacrifice myself for my teammate in the first inning or the third inning. That's got to stop. It has to end. Take the Lysol, get rid of all the bunting, sacrifice, giveaway, out, flu in that clubhouse, and move forward next year. And I'm going to tell my stars, go be effing stars. And yes, try to hit the ball out of the ballpark. And if you don't, okay, like try to find a gap. But I'm not going to have my cleanup hitter dropping down bunts in the third inning or fourth inning of a playoff game ever again. It's never going to happen again. That's one thing I would like to be assured of. Like that 50% more. You need a sacrifice bunt in the eighth inning with your 8-hole hitter up to drive it around. Fine. You need a suicide squeeze. You need a safety squeeze. Great. There's a time. You guys seen a ton of small ball in these playoffs? I'm watching every single game. And Real Muto came up the other day with first and second, nobody out. You know what he didn't do? He didn't effing bunt. He didn't bunt. You're not seeing it.
The Blue Jays did lay one down in one of their big innings.
Okay.
But
laying one down is fine. Laying down 50% more than everybody else is not okay.
They led the American League in sacrifice bunts.
We led the National League in
Correct.
They also led the American League in. We had twice as many as them. And they led the American League in most offensive categories.
They did. And the Padres never had 2 days in a row this season that I can remember, like the Blue Jays just had against the Yankees over the weekend.
No, sir.
10-1, 13-7. And it was everybody. I mean, they got 2 home runs from Alejandro Kirk, 2 home runs from Vlad Guerrero Jr., 2 home runs from Dalton Varsho. George Springer went deep. Ernie Clement went deep. They had more just sluggers throughout their lineup that slugged. They actually slugged. And then throw in the pitching performance they got yesterday from a rookie making his third career start. And you can see why the Blue Jays all of a sudden are everyone's a hot pick to win the World Series.
I mean, they look pretty unbeatable right now when you slug the ball that much. But you're seeing it from every team, really. I mean, slugging is what's winning you ball games. We knew that. That was not a secret. Everybody talked about that. And I was a Victor Rodriguez gap-to-gap fan when it worked last year. I thought it was great. And then what happened in the playoffs, not only could you not slug, you couldn't even hit. You just stopped hitting entirely. So that again,
2 years in a row.
I look at that and I go, all right, that's a little bit more than an anomaly right now. So I don't know, man. It's weird. Baseball is weird. You watch 2 home runs last night from Jorge Polanco off of Tarek Skubal. Like baseball is a weird game. We know that, but to mitigate the damage, you got to have people that can hit the ball out of the ballpark. We just didn't.
Of course, that series has been really good. Tigers and Mariners now even in a game apiece after 2-3-2 games. Tigers won on Saturday in 11 innings on a Zach McGinstry RBI single in the top of the 11th. Mariners come back and win. And I was listening to Rick Riz in my car yesterday, the longtime voice of the Mariners. They had not won a home playoff game since 2001.
24
and you could hear the crowd. You could hear it in his voice.
It was electric.
Just how long they had waited for a game like that to get the best of Tarek Skubal and to pull it out. The Tigers tied it up in the 8th, and I'd imagine there was a lot of panic in Seattle. Like, are we about to go down 0-2 and go back to Detroit? But to pull out that win yesterday, even that series, I can see that one going either way now. I mean, they still have one more Skubal start probably in Game 5 back in Seattle. Kind of hope he gets there. One more game for all the marbles in Seattle would be really exciting. But, that to me has been the best series, obviously, so far of the postseason between those two teams.
Best series because it's the closest. It's the
Yeah.
one that's going back and forth. It's the one where you're watching the managers just chewing their nails and going nuts trying to figure out the right bullpen guy to bring in. And it's been really it's probably gotten the least attention, but it has probably been the best.
I'm like Ben. I love some good play-by-play as well. I was watching that game on television. So Seattle gives up the lead in the top of the 8th, and then in the bottom of the 8th, Julio Rodriguez and Cal Raleigh back-to-back doubles take the lead. Here is that Rick Riz, Seattle's home call on the double.
1-0 the count on Rodriguez. Cal will lead at second. Ready to bring home the mail, the stretch. And the 1-0 pitch. Swinging a line drive, left field line, fair ball. In for the corner. Cal running third, being waved in. He's bringing home the mail. Julio in at second with an RBI double. And the Mariners have the lead. 3-2 here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Julio pumping his fists on at second base. The RBI double. Back-to-back doubles by Cal and Julio. And the Mariners have the lead.
That was
Yeah,
awesome.
T-Mobile Park was, the fans were on their feet from basically first pitch the entire game. That was pretty cool. Brewers,
They were such a good crowd.
they were really
Yeah,
good.
The
I had a
the
bunch
Mariners
of friends
crowd.
that were at both games. I mean, dude, think about it. Like, anybody that is a Mariners fan, if you're 24 years old or younger, graduated college.
Yeah, graduated college. You've never seen that.
You've never seen your team win a playoff game.
Great. And you've only seen them in the playoffs
One other time. And I think
Yeah.
maybe a wild card on the road
Wow.
a couple years ago, I think.
Bananas.
Toronto? Yeah, I don't know.
I think so, but that was it. I mean, 24 years, and the last time they had won a home playoff game. Meanwhile, in the National League, the Brewers made their first game very uninteresting against the Cubs by scoring 9 runs in the first 2 innings against a Cubs team that looked like a completely different team than the one that faced the Padres. Big error by Nico Horner. They made no mistakes against the Padres, and they immediately started making mistakes against the Milwaukee Brewers that took them out of that game from the very beginning. However, the injury to Jackson Chourio, he goes 3 for 3 in the first 2 innings, but then has to leave, and his status for the rest of the series with a hamstring pull is in question. That's very interesting because that's a key top of the lineup type guy for the Milwaukee Brewers that they may be without. They can't necessarily put him on the injured list because that means he'd be out for the next series as well. You can't replace him, so they may be shorthanded going forward. Game 2, of course, is tonight with Shota Imanaga. Aaron Ashby, Andy's nephew, is going to be opening for the Brewers with Quinn Priester likely coming in behind him. They played some shenanigans waiting a long time, both managers, to name their Game 2 starter.
Of course they did.
And then finally, of course, the Dodgers beat the Phillies 5-3 on Saturday in Game 1 of that series. Shohei gives up the 3. Philly looks like they're cruising behind Christopher Sanchez. Dodgers look like they're in trouble. And then, as they do so often, one big swing from one of their many guys, but usually it's someone named Hernandez. This time it's Teoscar.
No, it was Kike first.
Well, Kike first.
And then
Teoscar
drives in 2 runs to get him right back in it. And then right there, the Dodgers are inevitable. We talked about clutch 6 weeks ago. I don't know what it is. Kike Hernandez, why would you even pitch to him? Why would you especially leave Sanchez?
He hit 200 this year.
Why would you let Sanchez, a lefty, pitch to Kike Hernandez with runners on base when you had David Robertson ready? And I don't know his splits, but I'm playing the matchups there. I'm not going with my heart there and letting Sanchez get through that because of the Reggie Jackson.
But I said, don't manage with your heart.
The Reggie Jack, he did. He managed with his heart. He didn't manage with his head.
I don't know. I mean, what does your head say?
My head says I'm going to go to a righty against this righty.
You look at that lineup, it's like Kike looks like the weakest link of their lineup.
But not in October. He's Babe Ruth in October. I don't throw him a pitch in the zone. That's the guy I'm like,
who do you throw then to the? If you don't throw Kike,
who's the next
pitch,
guy after Kike?
I don't know. Probably Rortvet at the bottom of the order.
I'm not pitching. Yeah. Kike Hernandez is not seeing.
But then you're getting right back up to Shohei.
It's 2 outs.
Mookie,
I'm getting him.
Freddie.
I'm going after him with a righty. I'm not letting Christopher Sanchez let him get through here, and then we'll call it. There's just no way.
Felt bad for our friend Matt Strom.
Me
who got
too.
up the 3-run go-ahead home run to Teoscar in the 7th.
Gets Shohei, gets Mookie, and then freaking Teoscar Hernandez, man, who had coughed up 2 runs defensively, comes out, puts a big swing. He struck out 3 times. He just looked horrible. And then you throw him a fastball, and he just pounds it. And Dodgers win. Inevitable.
Yeah, 1 up. And Game 2 is this afternoon, 3:08 our time. with who's the pitching matchup today? It is Blake Snell against Jesus Luzardo.
How about Tyler Glass now coming in?
Yeah.
What,
Coming
seventh
relief,
inning
yeah,
or whatever
yeah.
that was?
He circumvent their own bullpen with starters. Now he can still start in game 4 on regular rest. So that's the plan for Dave Roberts going forward.
Must be nice.
All right, let's take a timeout. When we come back, it is Don't Do This Time. Mark Sanchez was the big story of the weekend,
Indeed.
the incident in Indianapolis. We'll get to that and more coming up next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Well, gang, if you're trapped in a high-rate mortgage, if you're watching your hard-earned cash vanish every month, stop right now at Loan Pronto, delivering the lowest mortgage rates in 3 years. It is woodsy to tell you that Loan Pronto's rate reduction home loan program, streamlined, low-cost way to slash your house payments by hundreds of dollars a month. You can lock in a fixed rate as low as 4.99% APR, close in as little as 2 weeks, no appraisal needed in most cases. And the kicker is you can skip your next 2 house payments entirely. Get yourself a little nest egg, all right? Don't wait. Rates this low will not last. Call Loan Pronto now for your free, no-obligation quote. Loan Pronto is incredible. Lower payments, more money in your pocket, and a fresh start with a better mortgage, which is the dream. 619-207-4336 or go to loanpronto.com, lock in the new low rate, skip those next 2 payments entirely. 619-207-4336 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Hey, player, this is all yours. This room with this view. This speakeasy with this cocktail. Hey, could you make that too? The spa with this. Ah. And this pool on this roof. This is all for you. The all-new Hamul Casino Resort, now open.
Let's get right to it. DDT brought to you by Trust and Will.
Don't.
Leave your entire estate, house, kids, and life savings up to chance if and when you die.
Do.
Set up a Trust or Will online at trustandwill.com.
This
is a lot more affordable than you think. Visit trustandwill.com for more info. Woods?
No, Mark Sanchez, former USC quarterback and NFL quarterback as well. Now calls games, and he's an analyst for Fox Sports. Yep. Gets to Indianapolis on Friday for a Sunday game and decides, I'm going to go out and have a few pops. Probably not very uncommon. Goes out to Low Miller's, which is a bar in the Indianapolis area. And at about 12:30 a.m., he was stabbed. He suffered stab wounds to his upper torso. He was rushed to the hospital in critical condition, upgraded the next day to stable condition. So you saw a lot of people coming out with words of support for Mark Sanchez. And I think it's okay to support Mark Sanchez. You don't want to see your buddy or guy you work with get stabbed, no matter what he did, right? But it turns out this was a different story than was initially portrayed. Turns out Mark Sanchez was actually the guy that had kind of started this whole altercation with a 69-year-old man. He parked his truck, his box work truck, by a loading dock that was used, man. He would get like the cooking oil from the restaurants. Apparently, Mark Sanchez was under the influence and was running wind sprints in the alley, which is very weird. And then he got mad that the guy parked his truck there and was trying to get in this guy's truck. And the guy's like, dude, 69-year-old man did not have his hearing aid in. So he didn't really know what was going on. All he knew is he saw a drunken, kind of crazed man trying to get in his truck, come at him. And they had an altercation. The man pepper sprayed Sanchez in the face. He kind of wiped his eyes, didn't affect him very much. Came at him again, threw him down. The guy took his knife out and stabbed him in the chest 3 times. And Sanchez was dazed and kind of staggered away. Obviously not a great situation for all involved. And then yet the next day, as he's upgraded into stable condition, Ben, the cops come in and arrest him because he was the one that actually kind of started the whole thing. Wow. And the guy was acting in self-defense. So pretty crazy story. Now, again, he's lucky he didn't die. Mark Sanchez. But like he could potentially have lost his job and his livelihood and career as well after this assault on this 69-year-old man.
Fox Sports got very careful on Sunday with their statements.
Did they?
Like we're hoping for a speedy recovery and everyone involved in the incident. And we are, they just were like not sure what to say once they found out that it was Sanchez who was the aggressor in the situation.
Not so much a victim as originally everyone thought.
Yeah.
It's going to take a lot to change his legacy from the butt fumble being his biggest legacy, but this actually could.
Yeah, he's out of a job, right? After all this?
I think
so.
Yeah.
I don't.
Brady Quinn replaced him on the game on Sunday quite quickly. And
somebody tweeted yesterday, oh, man, those Sunday scaries hit worse for Mark Sanchez. You wake up and you're like, what happened exactly? He told the police, he said, I don't really remember much. I remember I was like hanging onto a window, and that's all I remember. So he was blacked out.
Wow.
And it's just a cautionary tale, guys.
Not good. All right, it's already 7:30, so let's get right to do this.
DD mega doo-doo.
I thought this was a lot of fun. Sunday Night Football last night, pretty big upset win as the New England Patriots and Drake May knock off the last undefeated team remaining in football, the Buffalo Bills. Both the Bills and Eagles lost yesterday, so every team has a loss. But the fun part was during the game when I believe it was Josh Allen, who was scrambling near the end zone, didn't have anyone to throw it to, so decided just to heave it into the stands, first row of the stands, where a fan catches the football. And at that point, Mike Tirico on NBC Sports takes over with the play-by-play.
Josh turns. And his catch there. He's gone. Milano's going to go. He's in row 10. He's in row 15. He might get a beer. Milano, where are you going, man? It's your moment. Milano, row 40, led by Allen. He's going to take it the distance. Maybe it wasn't his seat. Maybe he doesn't want to be on TV. He's gone.
Guy catches the ball. It's like catching a foul ball. You catch a foul ball, you turn and you haul ass up the stairs.
I think you're supposed to return those
That's
footballs,
what I was
and he
thinking.
didn't want to.
That's
so
what I was
wondered,
thinking.
did he make it all the way out of the stadium with the football before someone made him give it back?
If Josh Allen threw me a pass in the stands and I caught it and they tried to take it from me, it would have been like, over my dead body. I'm keeping this ball.
And he had his name on the back of his jersey, Milano.
Yeah,
so
Milano.
That's why Mike Tirico was saying that. It's going to be pretty easy probably to track that guy down. Though.
Is
Everyone
Milano
knows
not a player for the Bills?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe he is.
I
but
think he might be.
Is he one of them? But he tried to get out of there, and I don't know. I mean, he made pretty good time up those
Matt
steps.
Milano, linebacker.
Okay, linebacker.
Yeah, so he had the
So
linebacker's
he could be
jersey on.
anybody.
Can I say something?
Yes.
Is this a safe space?
Yes.
Let's leave that bit to Kevin Harlan.
It's fair.
Kevin did a great job with the streak.
Is that not
the field.
exactly
Yeah,
what he was trying to do?
Yeah, that's exactly.
Hey, somebody has run out on the field.
Yeah.
Some goofball in a hat and a red shirt. Now he takes off the shirt. He's running down the middle by the 50. He's at the 30. He's bare-chested and banging his chest. Now he runs the opposite way. He runs at the 50. He runs at the 40. The guy is drunk, but there he goes. The 20. They're chasing him. They're not going to get him. Waving his arms, bare-chested. Somebody stop that man.
Here comes the blue coat,
Oh,
Kevin.
they got him.
Here
They're
comes the
coming
blue
from the
coats.
left. Oh,
Yeah,
they
Harlan
tackle
did it
him at the
better.
40.
Harlan did it way better.
You're right.
Props
you're
for
right.
trying.
Harlan did it best.
My first thought was he does not want to give that ball back.
No.
I don't think he was in the wrong seat. I think he's like, hey, I'm not giving this back. I'm a huge Bills fan.
I'm gone.
Josh, I just caught a pass from Josh Allen.
I'm gone.
I'm taking it.
I am gone.
Now, if they did get him, and I'm sure we'll find more information about it. Somebody will do a TikTok on it later. But I'm sure if they do end up grabbing it from him, Matt Milano, Josh Allen will probably make it right for the guy. That was pretty sick.
And that is don't and do this for a Monday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
We will chat with Craig Elsten up next. Get his thoughts on AJ Preller, Padres hot tub, and SDFC's big win at Houston over the weekend. All coming up next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. GEGE 000-466. For a full list of games and rules, play at 7 Mile Casino. Visit 7milecasino.com.
All right, we have some time on our hands now. And
Yeah.
now, if you've got some extra time on your hands and you feel like playing a little cards, why not head to our favorite, the best card room in San Diego? It is 7 Mile Casino.
You okay?
I'm all right.
Even a hard time getting the words out about our beloved 7 Mile Casino. We've been longtime partners with them. They have certainly opened up their doors for us many times. You will really like it if you have not had the chance to experience it yet. Head on down, just 7 minutes from downtown. Got all the food and drink you could possibly ask for, Benny. They got TVs there. They got a great bar area and a beautiful patio. Overlooks the bay, but they got all the card games you want to play too.
Yeah, it's comfortable. I enjoy the Texas Hold'em, ones like California style blackjack, Pai Gow, Baccarat. Also, the proximity, of course, is unbeaten. No long drive into the East County, 45 minutes more and back. You're already playing cards. 7 minutes away, you hit right off the 5 freeway in Chula Vista. Stay on the west side of the freeway, Bay Boulevard. You're pulling right in and playing in San Diego's best card room. Check it out today at 7 Mile Casino, just 7 minutes from downtown.
Hey, player, this is all yours. This room with this view. This speakeasy with this cocktail. Hey, could you make that too? The spa with this. Ah. And this pool on this roof. This is all for you. The all-new Hamul Casino Resort, now open.
Hour 97 through the fans is brought to you by Staples. Your local Staples has hot deals and super low prices throughout the store and everything for your business. And right now at Staples, save up to $125 off your print order. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details. Ends 11/1. Plus, save even more with the Easy Rewards program at Staples. I see Craig Elsten standing by on our YouTube stream. He will join us with some final Padres thoughts, and we'll talk SDFC coming up after traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danek.
Traffic is sponsored by Staples. Good news for South 5 coastline travelers. Accident has cleared past Mission Avenue, so speeds are getting back to normal. And it looks like a crash has cleared on northbound 805, right around 43rd. Your local Staples has hot deals and super low prices throughout the store on everything for your business. And right now at Staples, save up to $125 off your print order. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details. Ends November 1st. Plus, save even more with the Easy Rewards program at Staples. And Kelly Danek with Fan and Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, as we welcome Craig Elsten in, it's hard to believe that the last time we talked to you last Monday, we hadn't even started the wild card series, and now the playoff run is over. So, Craig, why don't you give us your big picture thoughts on the Padres elimination and what we as fans should take away from that best of 3 series against the Cubs?
Okay, on multiple levels, there's plenty to take away. I would start with, on the broadest level, to say that without Michael King as the ace in your rotation, able to give you 6-7 innings, without Ramon Laureano, the only big right-handed bat that you went to get at the deadline, with him out of the lineup, the Padres didn't have enough juice to go all the way this year.
Yeah.
They could have beaten the Cubs. They probably should have beaten the Cubs.
Yep.
You could make the argument. They might have been able to beat the Brewers, but they were going to get hosed down the road. They just didn't have enough starting pitching. The pitching that they had wasn't going deep enough. And you can only run those relievers out there like dray horses, like one series. You know, when I saw Suarez in the 6th inning, to me, that's the ultimate sign of despair, is when you've gone to your last option in the 6th inning and you're like, well, you know, we'll just figure it out from here.
Yeah.
So that's on one level, is they probably didn't have the juice when all was said and done. Obviously, the strike call in the 9th inning of Game 3 is a travesty and an embarrassment to Major League Baseball. But the thing that bothered me the most about that was it was an excuse to let some of the Padres off the hook for their poor performance over the course of the series. And from a star standpoint, obviously, Fernando Tatis Jr. has to come so much more correct than he did. I'm sure you guys felt this way, but I'll ask you the question. When you saw the look in his eyes in the top of the 1st inning, as he swung over pitches by 1.5 feet and trudged back to the dugout, did you not feel like something was wrong with Toddy that day?
Yes, 100%. And then, the next AB as well. And then the next AB as well. And then he did square one up, I think. Hit it fairly deep off of Palencia, I do believe. But it's a tone setter, right? That day. And you saw it and you're like, oh, we're doing this already. We're swinging at 3 pitches and shuffling our feet like my 4-year-old back to the dugout. We're doing this in the 1st inning of a must-win game. Yeah, man. The place I was at, too, you couldn't even – nobody could breathe. There was no excitement, no nothing, and he really set the tone in a negative way. But Manny, another awful series in October. Arise, not a great series as well. It's tough, man. 1 through 3 does nothing. It's going to be really hard for the San Diego Padres to do anything. Doesn't matter who they have in the lineup, Craig. 1 through 3, 1 through 4, they got to produce.
They do. And in that series, they did not. And in any 2 or 3 game sample, literally anything can happen. So on that level, what are you going to do? Fire Toddy? Fire Manny? No, nope, They're going to be back. Arise should not be back. That is a player that needs to leave this organization now that he is a free agent. Because, guys, I heard you in the 7 segment while I was walking the pug talking about power and talking about, hitting coaches and going to a celebrity hitting coach hire, which is never the right decision.
Never. But interesting.
Right. Like the best hitting coach in the league is Kevin Long.
Right.
Do we remember all of his 45 homer seasons in Major League Baseball? So point being, I don't think it's the hitting coach. I don't think it's Petco Park. I don't think it's even the line-to-line philosophy. I think if you want to get to the number which you need, which is 180 homers in the regular season to have a viable power offense, you can't give first base to a guy who gets 6 or 7 homers.
Yeah.
That's like the Padres finished about 25 homers short of where they needed to get to this year. That could literally just be first base.
Yeah, first baseman.
That could be a 30-homer first baseman that changes things. So I think there were some personnel choices along the way that led the Padres down that path, but you do have to cancel the culture that encourages your cleanup hitter to sacrifice a runner from first to second.
Yeah.
That has to stop. That's grade school mistakes. And it's part of why Mike Schilt really got the most of my ire, boys, for the week. I think he showed a lot of weaknesses in terms of how he manages an offense over the course of that series.
Craig, where do you stand on the future of A.J. Preller as he goes into the last year of his contract? Do you believe he should and will get a contract extension?
This should be absolutely project number 1 for the San Diego Padres front office. A.J. Preller has built a machine that only he can run.
Yes.
And
convenient, isn't it?
Very
Pretty
smart.
genius.
Very convenient. Very smart of him.
It is.
He has made himself indispensable.
I look at this on 2 levels, guys. Let's start on the Padres level. All right. On the Padres level, if you let A.J. Preller go and you agree, like we all do agree, he's built a machine only he can run, then you only have one choice: tear down the machine, build a different machine. And that means, I don't even know what that means, because you're locked into so many long-term contracts already for San Diego. It means an uncomfortable path that I don't think anybody wants. It probably means a 3 or 4 year, hey, we got to get the farm system in order, rebuild, when, as we know, Preller does that on microwave year after year. But now, please follow me down the road to part 2. AJ's gone. Your house is in disorder. AJ doesn't disappear off the map. He's still a human being working in baseball.
Yes.
He will be hired by a top organization within 2 to 3 weeks to be their head of their scouting department or their assistant to the general manager or whatever. And could you imagine LA, Seattle, the Mets, pick your team, the Cubs, being fortified with Preller's ability to build a farm system every single year? I think it's a complete disaster for San Diego. So yeah, Preller, extend him. That's job number 1 for the Padres this winter.
Couldn't agree more.
All right, Craig, let's turn our attention to SDFC for a couple of minutes here. A much-needed win. Now, it was on the road again.
They love the road.
Which they just
road
love.
warriors, man.
Love the road.
The
Dramatic, late goals. I mean, we've seen it time and time again this season. They'll have one more road game before the end of the regular season, which, probably go out and get another big win. But eventually they're going to have to return home for the playoffs. And somehow that's now worrisome.
I know, right? It's hilarious. But what happened in that match was really, really, really important for SDFC. Not the win. The win was great. The win was important. It gives them the records for most points, most wins as an MLS expansion team. Incredible stuff. It gives them a chance to hang on to number 1 in the Western Conference. Amazing. But that's not it, guys. What's it is Amal Pellegrino. The SDFC,
Okay, so
the
I
Camados.
hadn't heard of this guy necessarily. He was kind of a newcomer, right?
So after Milan Olaski was let go, SDFC at the end of the transfer window brought in 2 central forwards. They brought in a guy named Corey Baird, and they brought in Amal Pellegrino. Pellegrino's a 36-year-old veteran. He had been overseas. He's played in MLS for a couple of years. He was kind of on the back of the bench for San Jose. He wasn't being used. Baird's a guy who was Rookie of the Year about 3-4 years ago. His play had fallen off a little bit. All the way until Saturday, the biggest story for SDFC's offense was they just don't have a center forward, what's called a number 9. They don't have that guy in the middle that is the player that's supposed to stick the goals in. They've been relying on their wingers. Well, in the second half, Mikey Varas in Houston subbed in Amal Pellegrino. He had been starting Pellegrino the last 2-3 matches, and he didn't do anything. He looked like a complete zero out there. But Pellegrino is much more of a guy that comes off the bench to give you a spark. He came off the bench, and did he give them a spark? He contributed to all 4 goals.
It's awesome.
And it reminded you immediately of what it looks like when Dreyer and Lozano have someone that they can play off of and that can play off of them. So if Pellegrino can be off the bench, that guy, kind of like Olaski was to start the year, that second half super sub that comes in and locks down the 9, that gives them room to get Marcus and Vartson back healthy in time for the playoffs. Baird can start there in the in-between, but I'm telling you guys, this is the decision point on which SDFC season will ride or fall. Can their 9 get them goals and assists? If so, they can win the cup. If not, they will come up short.
One more, right? One more regular season game?
Yeah, we didn't get any help from San Jose. Vancouver beat them yesterday, so they're tied for first place, but Vancouver still has an extra game to amass points. So if they just get a win and a tie, there's nothing SDFC can do about it.
Even with a win.
They could only finish in second place
it's a bummer.
at best, but if they get a little help in the last 2, it's not out of the question.
And
that
win.
They could still win their last game next 2 weeks from now in Portland. They still could win the Western Conference.
That's exactly right. And listen, if you finish second, that's fine too, right? You're still getting home field all the way until
we want
the conference final.
We don't want home field to the conference final. That's one of those weird situations. It's like, we want it. It'd be great. The fans deserve it, but I don't know, guys. You think we can win a game here?
The MLS playoffs are weird. I was just looking into it. So they start with a best of 3 series. So you'd get 2 at home and 1 on the road. Right. And it's like normal, like a wild card series in baseball. But after that, they don't jump up to like best of 5 or best of 7. Then it just goes to one game the rest of the way.
That's so odd.
So strange.
You know what it is? It's straight up marketing, boys. This is about they overextend the playoffs. 16 out of 30 teams get in.
Yeah.
And then everyone gets a home gate. That's the thing. Everyone gets at least one home gate. And then at that point, it becomes, let's get this damn thing over with. Single a limb. Let's get out of here. Come on. 8, 4, 2, gone.
That's incredible. I did not know that.
Yeah.
3?
The first round takes forever, weeks to take the first round, and then it's just boom, 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 it's over.
Oh my God.
Seriously.
Maybe they should do this with all sports. All right, this is starting to drag on a little bit with all of these. That's awesome, dude. Well, thank you, Craig. You crushed it all season long, man. Really appreciate it. And yeah, dude, I don't know what our plans are moving forward, but if you're down to keep it rolling, let's keep it rolling as long as we can.
No, let's keep going. No problem. The winter's all full of fun, and we can talk more TV when we get into the
when we get into the dead period. Thank you, buddy.
You got it. All right, fellas, take care.
Craig Elsten, Padres Hot Tub, Cro-Maniacs, and Crossing Streams podcast. You can check out all of his content wherever you consume your podcasts. Now, we've talked about the general manager and the coaching staff. Obviously, that's the good place to start an off-season discussion, but the players are the most important thing.
Indeed.
And there's some big decisions to be made on players. We'll talk about that coming up in the second half. But free agents to be Michael King, Dylan Cease, Luis Arraez, just heard Craig say. Is it that simple? Like, okay, Luis Arraez, you're done? Is there not a scenario in your head that it makes sense to bring back Luis Arraez? Affordably, I wouldn't offer him like a qualifying offer or anything. He would jump at that, like $22 million. You can't risk giving him a qualifying offer. But if he's not,
I don't think he's going to be used the right way.
Correct.
So I don't want him on
it's
the
not
roster.
Even, it's not him.
Yeah,
but
it's
as your
not
starting
him.
first baseman, it doesn't. I think
Correct.
Craig's right. I don't think it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
When you need power, and that's one position where you can generally find power, not necessarily expensively. Yeah, Pete Alonso would be the expensive first baseman, but you can usually find a first baseman that can give you a few pops.
Don't even say. You do this every year.
What?
When's the last first baseman we had that could give us, quote, a few pops?
Other teams find
Other
first
teams.
baseman.
We'll just go get a corner outfielder. It's no big deal. The first baseman orchard is rotten. It's dead, especially here.
Then maybe you need to rise back if you can't find someone else.
That's just a body.
All right, we'll come back. 2 more hours of Ben Woods on the way on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
right, we are halfway home on a Monday. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. Great to be here with you on this beautiful Monday morning. Always appreciate all of the Tier 1's effort and decision to listen to Ben and Woods. It's pretty heartwarming and pretty incredible. So thank you very much. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl, executive producer of the program.
We're not going anywhere.
No. That's the thing is like, hey, see you guys next season. I'm like, no.
Maybe you tuned in after every game.
Yeah.
You were listening to the game at night. We just happened to be on in the mornings. Like, we're still here.
Yeah, just stay here. Stay here.
Say good morning to Dan Chavez of Encinitas, who tracked me down in Costco over the weekend, and big Tier 1.
Yeah.
Big fan of the entire station. 90 listens all day long.
Good, thank you.
Had a nice long conversation about the station and the Padres, and he was very excited to meet me. My son was with me, and he kind of slunk away.
Yeah, they slink away.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, Dad's going to be in this conversation for a while.
Yeah.
I'll go look at the frozen food section
What'd you
or
get?
something. Costco?
Yeah, what'd you get?
Oh, it's just some of the staples that we have around our house. What did we get this weekend?
What was your purchase that you got? Because everybody has one at Costco. What's the one that you didn't really need?
Oh,
did you get a bucket of shrimp or something like?
No, it's the snack area that always gets me. I got the chocolate truffles, like the individually wrapped ones. I like those.
Like the Lindor, are they called?
Lindor ones. Actually, these are the Costco, the Kirkland, or one of them. But
what's in the middle?
Dark, just dark, just all dark chocolate.
Oh, it's just one
all the way
chocolate ball.
Dark chocolate
Lint?
ball. Yeah.
Is it LIND?
There's Lint and Lindor. There's two, I think. But these are actually the off-brand. They're a little cheaper, but I like them better. So
what do you? They're just like little
What I have for
individually
dessert.
wrapped.
Yeah, they're
balls.
little.
How many do you
two.
put down? Just two.
Two.
All right.
For dessert.
It's a couple balls
Of
after.
chocolate. Yeah.
Couple balls.
And my
balls every night.
1% milk. Yeah.
And your 1%
My
milk.
1% milk.
What else? Anything?
We
anything
needed
exciting?
bread and cereal and milk. We got the honey bunches of oats.
Okay.
Usually we get the frosted mini wheats, but they didn't have them, so we went with honey bunches of oats instead.
All right.
I don't know if we're gonna like that or not. It's a bit of a change for us.
Spent my I tweeted it after the show on Friday. Went to see my therapist to go every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And you would think after the Padres season, you go in there and talk about that. You know what I spent the entire session talking about? Food. The entire
Food.
Yes. Because I had.
Is that therapeutic to you?
No, it's not. It's the age-old battle in our home of the food battle.
What's for dinner?
Yeah, that. And like, why are they eating that? Why aren't they eating this? Well, why don't you make it then? And like that whole thing, I spent 55 minutes, 55, not talking about my childhood or, trauma or anything, talking about food and how to navigate food in my home, because it is turned into, again, maybe my life's biggest stressor, which means my life's pretty good. If that's the only thing I'm really worried about, is food. But I did spend, it's not cheap. Therapy's not cheap, but I spent 55 minutes in there, Ben, after 4 hours on the air of talking about the Padres, going in there. And she's like, well, what's going on with you? I'm like, food, because I did have a minor crash out. My crash outs now, they're not like Mark Sanchez. They used to be like Mark Sanchez. That used to be the typical Woods crash out, was I'd get drunk and start doing wind sprints and alleys and, maybe get in a fight or something like that. I don't do that anymore. My new crash out is food. So it's partly that. And then partly like, how do we manage the food and the diets of everyone in our home? So when I crash out, again, it's not on drugs or alcohol, it's on food. So it started that morning. We came in on Friday and we're talking about the Padres, and I start getting, a little antsy. So I meander back to our boss, Michael's office, and he has that big bowl of candy. So I just grabbed 2 little mini things of M&Ms and just crushed it. It's like, no big deal.
Little trick-or-treat bags.
Yeah,
that have
the little
10 M&Ms in them.
10, so call it 20 M&Ms, right? So that I get them down my gullet. And I'm like, I'm doing better, but I don't want to go down this path. So I'm driving out to the deal, to my therapy, and I'm early. And I go, starving. Ooh. Carl's Jr. Haven't had that in a while. Got a little cheeseburger, Carl's Jr. little soda, Carl's Jr. And now you know.
How did you gain all the weight?
Now you feel, oh, it's coming. Like the crash out is coming. I'm about to go down.
M&Ms are just a gateway snack.
M&M is like 4 shots of whiskey, and you're like, well, I know where this night's going, right? I'm going to be beating up some 69-year-old in an alley if I don't curb this thing right now.
Put the M&Ms down.
Put them down. Walk away. Got a little cheeseburger, a little soda.
And you hit 7-Eleven on the way.
And I got finished up there.
And you opened DoorDash.
Went home and was like, I'm ordering a salad. So I got a big sweet green salad for dinner. I actually got 2, and I had one for dinner last night to try to mitigate some of the damage. But I'm telling you, like, once I get going on this, I'm going to have an addictive personality. I always have. And once I get going on something, it's like, all right, I guess this is what we're doing now. As I'm mainlining syrup in the alley behind my house, right? Like that's my new crash out.
Well, I thought you were going to talk about your kids. And
We have
eating.
that too.
Yeah,
we have that too.
That's always the toughest one.
It's the worst fight my wife and I have every single day. It's not 3 days a week, 4 days a week. So what it's boiled down to is my life apparently needs to be, I go to work. As soon as work's over, I go home and start cooking meals for the family. That's essentially to get it like to where we all want it to be. That's just the cross that I'm going to have to bear. I'm just going to have to go and cook all day, every day. And that's where we're at, which I don't want to do. Who wants to do that? I don't want to do that. But, Hannah doesn't really like to cook. I don't really like to cook. But in order to get it done, somebody's going to have to do it.
You've tried the meal prep services, though.
Well,
that hasn't worked out.
It's worked well for me. If it were just me to worry about, we'd have no problems. I'd be 180 pounds of shredded muscle if it was just me in that home. But I don't want it to be just me in that home. The kids don't like them. Hannah was like, oh, I'll get it, and then doesn't like them. Everybody changes their mind a lot in my house, as you know. And so it just makes it really, really tough. Makes it very tough to plan. And it's frustrating. So I tried to learn a better way to navigate that in therapy.
I think one of the hardest things as a parent, having gone through it, is the debate between making your kids happy and making them healthy.
Correct.
Because the two never line up correctly.
Not really.
If you force them to be healthy, they're really not that happy.
But here's the problem. We all had the opportunity to make our kids healthy when they were young. We all did. And we all of us get lazy. And you go, just eat the cereal, or just eat this, or here, let me just make you a grilled cheese or whatever. Oh, you like grilled cheese? Let me make you 100 grilled cheeses over the next 100 days. Right? We all do that.
Well, that's the happiness.
They're your kids.
You know they're going to eat it. You know they're going to like it. I lost that battle. We made grilled cheeses and quesadillas all the time because I knew they'd eat it, and that was better than trying to force them to eat something that they didn't want to eat, which they ended up not eating, and then now we're back at square one.
But all the kids that have been started, like, oh, here's their mom, and I make fun of the parents. They're like, oh, I bring my kids meals to places. I'm like, just let them have a piece of pizza. Well, that's what happens. Your kids start to really like pizza, and they don't want to eat healthy. I can't remember the last time Taylor. I cannot remember the last time I saw him eat a vegetable. Not one.
The alternative is untenable, and saying, okay, your kids are just eating healthy all the time.
It's tenable. We just don't do it.
Do you want your kids to be that way, though?
I want them to be healthy, yes.
To never eat anything unhealthy, though.
No, I don't want to be like Todd Marinovich's dad.
Right.
I don't. But I also like...
But once they get a taste of it, as you said, that's what they're going to want. And then it becomes that battle where you have to either force them to be unhappy because they know better things now exist.
Yeah.
You have let them have the bite of the grilled cheese. They've had the pizza.
Right here. My 2-year-old hasn't touched dairy or sugar. He did it the right way. Like if that's the way they know, then that's the way they know. They don't know any differently. But if you're like, yeah, have these crunch berries. All right, have them again. All right, have them again. Like it's hard. So I literally, that's what I spent my whole time in there talking about of like, so my life now is work, go to Vaughn's or something.
2 is one thing though. Come back when they're 6 and tell me that they still haven't had any sugar.
Right.
That's 6.
It's true.
And once they have had it and they go to a birthday party and they have ice cream and cake and they realize, oh, wait, there's better things out there than what I've been eating, then the battle starts.
Yeah, it's a battle.
And it's hard for parents because you want your kids to be happy.
Yeah.
And you don't want it to be a fight every single time when you're feeding them.
Maddie, I don't know if you have kids or not, but he says just simply tell your kids to eat the food you're made or don't eat. They'll eat. They won't. They don't. I'm telling you. I feel like it worked on me when I was a kid. It doesn't work on them. These newfangled kids, it doesn't work on them. This is what's for dinner, eat it. I've had this conversation a million times. This is what's for dinner, eat it. They're like, all right, I just won't eat. And then I'm like, oh, cool. I'm just going to send my kid to bed hungry. Like, what kind of dictatorship is this? Now, it's not the diner, as we've talked about, but it's really a struggle for me, man. It really is. And I found something that 3 of us will eat. Hannah won't eat it. So now, you know what I mean? Hannah's as difficult as they are about it. But I'm telling you, man, it is really, really tough. And then you get to the point where you're like, well, if you're not going to eat this that I'm going to make, then I'm not just going to make it. Let's just get DoorDash. And so you get DoorDash and everybody gets chicken nuggets and whatever else. It's really frustrating. It keeps me up at night. It really does. It's probably, like I said, probably my greatest stressor in my life, which means I have a pretty good life, if that's the greatest stressor. But that's what I spent my time in there doing about. Money well spent. Money well spent. It basically came down to, if you want it done that way, you're just going to have to do it. And I go, I don't want to hear this answer. I want to hear somebody else is going to do it. Like, I don't want to have to do this. I know the right way. I know the way out. It just means I have to do a buttload more work. So that's where I'm at.
All right, second half of Ben and Woods coming up. We will have Dennis Lynn joining us on our David P. Shapiro fan hotline, facing criminal charges. Trust David P. Shapiro criminal defense attorneys, helping clients regain control since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com. That's at the bottom of the hour. Before that, we have Take on Woods, our first chance at the Jerry Seinfeld tickets and trip to Las Vegas, coming up in just a few minutes, but wanted to continue our discussion about players that we started. And when we got to the break, we brought up Ryan O'Hearn. I think that's one of the bigger decisions the Padres are going to have. Bringing back Ramon Laureano, that's a no-brainer. At $6.5 million,
yeah,
that's a steal. He's going to be one of the outfielders for the
starting
Padres
left
next
fielder,
season.
Ramon Laureano.
The question is, what is Ryan O'Hearn going to command as a free agent? Being a guy who's hit, the teens in home runs the last 3 years, has gotten an OPS up to about 800. He was an all-star this year, but he's not a superstar offensive player by any stretch of the imagination. But what does that pay nowadays? Like, what are you willing to do? A free agent has a lot of leverage, and usually you have to overpay guys who are unrestricted free agents on the open market. And is Ryan O'Hearn someone you're willing to overpay to keep in a San Diego Padres uniform? How high are you willing to go?
I mean, I feel like all we ever do is overpay guys. I really do. And I shouldn't say that. That's unfair, because we have underpaid a lot of guys well, and they've performed very well for us. Gavin Sheets being one of them, right? Gavin Sheets is one. Who else have we underpaid that's performed?
TN says 8 to 12 million a year. And Jake Cronenworth makes $11 million a year. That was signed several years ago and is considered a pretty team-friendly deal at this point. Ryan O'Hearn is a more productive offensive player than Jake Cronenworth. I think you've got to start well higher than that. I think we're in the $15 to $18 million per year range if you're seriously considering bringing back Ryan O'Hearn. And all of a sudden, that sounds like a lot of money.
It does.
That sounds like superstar money for a not superstar player.
Again, if a guy you're going to use off the bench.
But it's not, though. Superstar money for a superstar player is like 25 to 30.
So why not just spend an extra $5 million and get a superstar rather than?
Because we're talking like 10 to 15 million more.
Where I'm talking close to 20 here now for Ryan O'Hearn. 18 million.
Yeah. So
I mean, what else can you get for 26 million by adding 8 million?
What's Pete Alonso going to command?
35 a year, somewhere in that neighborhood.
It's out of your price range. I think.
Schwarber probably even more.
I think Alonso more, because he actually does play.
He's a little younger too,
and he's younger. Yeah. I don't know.
I'd be very hesitant about sending a ton of money Kyle Schwarber's way, and we all think Kyle Schwarber's terrific, but he is definitely on the back end of his career.
The Padres don't have that money. We haven't even talked about what do they have to spend.
We don't know. That's the thing. Is
that was part of
I'm guessing it's not a 6-year deal for
and that's
Pete
something
Alonso.
we don't know. But part of Kevin Acey's piece is they're going to be after arbitration for the guys like Adrian Morejon, guys who are arbitration eligible. They will have committed around $190 million to payroll for this coming year. That gives them some room, both under the luxury tax, under the payroll from last year, like 20 to 25 million maybe that they can spend in free agency. But that goes really quickly. I mean, Ryan O'Hearn would be most of that. Does that solve all your problems by bringing back Ryan O'Hearn for next season?
It doesn't.
It doesn't really solve your problems.
Is he he's a nice piece. I really like him, and he's a nice piece, but he's a first baseman, DH type. And really, I don't know. Like I don't think we utilized, he was a good defender, better defender than Luis Ariz, at least to the non-internal metrics that we were not privy to the internal metrics. We saw the external metrics that everybody else sees, and they said, oh, he's like exceeded, like way better than Luis Ariz at first base. They didn't feel that way, and he got the majority of the starts at first base, talking about Luis Ariz. So I don't know that I don't know that you overpay for Ryan O'Hearn, but I also don't know. I haven't done the deep dive on who else is out there and who's going to be available and who's available for trade and things like that as well.
I mean, we've all decided Dylan Cease is probably not worth it. Robert Suarez is going to opt out.
Yeah.
Probably not going to spend a ton of money on him. Even Michael King, much as I'd like to see him back, the odds are he's gone. You're not making your team any better. You may not want to spend on those guys, but your team's definitely worse without them.
Yes.
You have to replace them. Somehow you have to replace those guys.
Replace them in the aggregate.
And you don't have a lot of minor leaguers coming up that are knocking at the door to replace 180 innings from Dylan Cease and over 200 strikeouts. You don't have someone to replace Robert Suarez in the bullpen. Yeah, Mason Miller can close, but now who's pitching in the 8th and the 7th? I mean, you're knocking everybody down a notch in the bullpen. You haven't replaced anybody. You're getting worse if you don't bring those guys back. Who are you finding out there? That's one of the big questions going into this offseason.
I wish I knew. And again, it's such a foolhardy errand that we go through every year, because every year Kevin Acee gives us, this is no fault of Kevin's. Every year he gives us the projected number, and I feel like every year we've blown past it.
True.
So if history serves, take Kevin Acee's number and maybe add a little bit more, because I think, look, what I don't want to read as a Padres fan is this. We're expected to lower payroll. There's no way you can lower payroll after 72 sellouts. There's no way.
Well, I would be shocked if they go over the luxury tax again, though.
I would too.
Which means they are lowering payroll.
So luxury tax is
down from 244.
And we're at what?
They were about, luxury tax wise, they were about 7-8 million over that. So,
and we're at what now? Though,
190 for next season. So you've got room to add, but that's still lowering payroll.
$54 million?
That's still lowering payroll from last season.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
Okay, I should couch that with,
they're not selling off pieces to shed payroll.
Correct.
They're going to add to the payroll from now, but lower it from this last season,
which I think I'm okay with.
Okay.
I think I can live with that. But I don't want. Hey, we're going to have to cut some costs and this, that, and the other. Yeah, I mean, you can make some smarter decisions in free agency. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good.
All right. Let's take a timeout. We'll come back. We'll take a little break to play Take on Woods. If you want to be our first contestant, try to win the Jerry Seinfeld tickets at Caesars Palace, 833-288-0973. We'll play our musical trivia challenge coming up next. And then Dennis Lynn will join us at the bottom of the hour. But call now, 833-288-0973. Ben and Woods continuing after traffic on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Before traffic, though, I will tell you about SDFatLoss.com. That was the program I used to lose my 40 pounds in 60 days. Sounds like an absurd amount of weight, but I did it. And I did it by eating real foods that I liked. It was such a difference maker for me. Went to the grocery store. I would prepare, like Woods was talking about, a little meal prep. Just have the discipline to do it for a couple of months with usually chicken and broccoli, but occasionally I mixed in some steak or some fish, some ahi tuna. Worked for me. Lost the weight fast, up to a pound of fat per day, 10 to 20% of my body weight in just 60 days with no injections. No exercise necessary to lose the weight. They will explain, your counselor, your coach will explain to you when you get your free consultation at sdfatloss.com. It jumpstarts your metabolism. It was developed by doctors. They will coach your way through it. And then when you're done, they'll help you maintain the weight loss, because there's no point in losing all the weight if you're just going to gain it right back. But I've kept my weight off for over 2 years. I've seen tier ones do the same. Thousands of pounds lost in San Diego just by listeners of this radio station. You could be the next. Sign up today at sdfatloss.com. That's sdfatloss.com. Results may vary.
Okay, player. This is all yours. This room with this view. This speakeasy with this cocktail. Hey, could you make that too? The spa with this. Ah. And this pool on this roof. This is all for you. The all-new Hamul Casino Resort. Now open.
All out today, Benny. We got to sit. But don't forget, you got to sit on some stuff. You got to save. You got to stretch it out.
Oh,
right?
I got
like 5 months,
plenty more Padres talk to get to in the coming weeks and months.
You say that.
Don't worry.
6 hours from now, we're going to be texting. What the F are we going to talk about tomorrow?
I can conjure up more topics in the future. We will talk a little football coming up as well. Horrible losses, both on Saturday in college football and Sunday.
I'm definitely talking about one game in particular.
All right, Paul, you can get to that in the Reindl Report. We got Dennis Lynn, our Linsider, is going to join us at least one last time here to wrap up the season at the bottom of the hour. Right now, though, it is time for our first game of the new month. New prize. Let's get to a little Take on Woods. Take on Woods brought to you by Bail Alarms, security and fire alarms for every business. We got you, and we got Guy is back. Guy, good luck. New month, new prize, and it's a good one. We've got the trip to Las Vegas, 2-night stay at the Flamingo, and tickets to Jerry Seinfeld at the Coliseum at Caesars Palace. $100 gas card as well. Jerry Seinfeld returns to the Coliseum at Caesars on April 17th and 18th. See Ticketmaster.com to get your own tickets. We got 3 categories. Woods has left the room. You get to pick from. I feel like we got challenging categories here today. I like Take on Woods, 5 song titles that include the phrase I like. H2O, 5 song titles that include the word water. And our new category, Teen Angst, 5 song titles that include a number in the teens in their title. So I like Take on Woods, H2O, or Teen Angst. Guy, what's it going to be?
Let's try the water one.
H2O, 5 song titles that all include the word water. You'll have 60 seconds to answer as many of the 5 as you can. If you don't know one, say pass. We'll come back to it if there's time left on the clock. First question's the 2-second song. Paulie will play you a little music. You need to give me the song title and the artist to score that point. You go first. Woods goes second. You beat her time. You know how it works, Guy. You are into the drawing for Jerry Seinfeld in Las Vegas. All right, Paulie, are you ready to go?
1 second.
1 second as he cues it up. Guy was very disappointed. Didn't get in last month for the trip to the Eagles. But, hey, new month, new prize, and another good one here for you. So we'll see how you do. See if you can be our first qualifier today. All right, Paul, you ready now?
All right.
Here we go. The category is H2O. Guy, your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck, Guy. Let's take on Woods.
I couldn't even hear that, really.
Play it again. Right there.
Yeah, no idea.
TLC advised not to go chasing what in a 1995 hit song?
Waterfall.
Correct. A 1971 fire at the Montreux Casino in Switzerland on the shore of Lake Geneva inspired which classic rock song by Deep Purple?
Smoke on the Water.
Correct. What 1974 ode to the Mississippi River became the first #1 hit for the Doobie Brothers?
Blackwater.
Correct.
No Blackwater.
It was written by Paul Simon, but which 1970 Grammy Award-winning hit was mostly sung solo by Art Garfunkel and became the duo's most successful release?
Bridge Over Troubled Water.
Correct. All we need is the 2-second song. He's having trouble with this one, though.
Yeah, I don't know what.
All right, you got 4. You just didn't get Waterloo by ABBA, which means we'll see if Woods can get all of them to keep it from a clean sweep or not. All right, Guy's score is locked in. Hang on the line, Guy. Woods, Guy's back. New month. He always gets in early.
Jeez.
All right, same 5 questions. No category for Woods. 60 seconds on the clock. Woods, your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck. Let's take on Guy.
Pass.
TLC advised not to go chasing what in a
Waterfalls.
Correct. A 1971 fire at the Montreux Casino in Switzerland on the shore of Lake Geneva inspired which classic rock song by Deep Purple?
Smoke on the Water.
Correct. What 1974 ode to the Mississippi River became the first #1 hit for the Doobie Brothers?
Old Blackwater.
Correct. It was written by Paul Simon, but which 1970 Grammy Award-winning hit was mostly sung solo by Art Garfunkel, becoming the duo's most successful release?
Bridge Over the River. No. Bridge Over the River Quad.
It's not. You're thinking the right. Okay, go back to our 2-second song.
Is that Blondie? Now I'm out.
You're out, which means Guy is in. 4-3. Yeah, Bridge Over. Bridge Over Troubled Water. Water was the key, and it was Waterloo by ABBA, the first song. Didn't know that one. All right, Guy, congratulations. Easy peasy,
Great.
1 for 1 this month as Guy is into the drawing for Jerry Seinfeld. Paulie will get your information during the break.
Bridge Over the River Taint is what it was. I'm sorry.
Get it right.
Bridge Over the Taint River.
Yep.
I'm
He
very,
got that
very
one.
sorry.
That was the difference in our game. All right, let's come back with Dennis Lynn, our Linsider. He's got his thoughts on the Padres offseason coming up as well.
What a piece he's written for The Athletic this morning, too, about pitch tipping. Oh, my God. Tons of Padres quoted there. Ben Fritz is in there. Ruben's in there. Everybody's in there. It's great.
That'll be coming up next with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3. The Fan. First, though, Woods and I want to remind you, if you haven't got your estate documents in order, if you've got a family and you've been putting this off, you are potentially setting them up for a world of hurt when you're gone, and not just the hurt because you're gone either.
I really felt like I was a terrible person because I had not gotten it done yet. And to be able to sit down at the computer only took me about 30 minutes to get it done. Made me feel a lot better. There's a real peace of mind that comes with it. So go to trustandwill.com, use the code radio20 when you check out. They'll give you 20% off.
I didn't feel like a bad person because I just assumed it would just be pretty obvious. My family would just get everything. Right. But if you don't actually do it, they get stuck in probate court for months. It's expensive. It's also easily avoidable, too. So, again, go to trustandwill.com. Go through the process. It's quick and easy. It's affordable. No lawyer's office necessarily. And you can even get, as Wood said, 20% off by using the code radio20 at checkout, whether it's a will or a little more complex to trust, but worth it to stay out of probate court if you've got assets like 401ks and property. Get the trust, stay out of probate court, get that peace of mind. Going to trustandwill.com. That's trustandwill.com.
Hey, player, this is all yours. This room with this view. This speakeasy with this cocktail. Hey, could you make that too? This spa with this. Ah. And this pool on this roof. This is all for you. The all-new Hamul Casino Resort, now open.
in the National League. Game 2, Dodgers-Phillies, 3:08. Game 2, Cubs-Brewers, 6:08. Back-to-back on TBS today.
I will be there.
As the American League Series will resume tomorrow. This hour on 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by IHOP, introducing the IHOP Value Menu, where all your breakfast faves are just $6 each every day. Where else can you get a big, filling sit-down breakfast for only $6? Go to your Happy Plates with the $6 IHOP Value Menu, available every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations.
Yes.
Dennis Lynn from The Athletic going to join us right after this check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Still a few problems out here, guys. One of them is this accident involving a car and a motorcycle northbound 5 native 15. Everything's in the center divide, and a crash on southbound 805 before Telegraph Canyon Road. A tow truck and a car involved in this one. That's over to the right shoulder. Westbound 8 before Mission Gorge. We have reports of some large tire tread in the 2 right lanes. And a stalled vehicle over to the right shoulder on southbound 5 coastline right before Poinsettia. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Happy Monday, Padres fans. It's time to discuss the weekend that was for the Padres with our Ben & Woods Linsider, Dennis Lynn from The Athletic. Brought to you by the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the Players' Place.
Fortunately, there was no
off-season
weekend
version.
that was for the Padres. Dennis could be in Milwaukee right now.
Slayed the dragon again.
For game 2 of the NLDS, but he is not. The season has come to a close, and we're here to wrap it all up with Dennis Lynn. Good morning, Dennis.
Good morning, guys.
How are you, buddy?
I'm fine. Yeah, I guess you're kind of prepared for things to go either way this time of year, and unfortunately for the Padres, they went one way, and now I'm glad to be back in San Diego, all things considered.
Well,
but yeah, it would have been interesting to see what this team could have done.
Beatrice in our chat wants to know, and we can get to the Padres stuff in a moment. What does Dennis do for fun? What are your off-season hobbies?
That's a great question.
I'm going to do some traveling, go see some family. Nothing too exciting. I will still be keeping tabs on the Padres,
Sure,
but hope to hit Australia later this offseason.
Ooh.
So
what
we'll
part?
see how that goes. Sydney.
Sydney. I've been. It's beautiful.
Woods has
She is
connections
nice.
in Melbourne.
I
if
do
you
have-
want to go down to Melbourne.
I don't know how aligned Aussie Tony and Dennis would be. I don't, but it would be an interesting pairing for sure. But no, I've been to Sydney. It's stunning. You'll have a great time. It's a long flight. The people in chat said, "Can we interview Dennis today?" Fire away, guys. I mean, it's the offseason. You can do whatever you want. But look, Ben wants to really do the autopsy on the Padres, and we've done it. We did it Friday. We're doing it some today. We all know, what some of the issues are out there, but just your overall take on what you're hearing about AJ Preller, and do you think they'll just let it play out the last year of his contract?
I think that's definitely a possibility. There's a lot of uncertainty, as we all know, surrounding baseball with the labor landscape and the CBA coming up. And of course, the Padres still have to sort out some ownership issues that started, before this past season. So I think that's a distinct possibility. I think, some people would be of the mind that he's done enough to deserve a contract extension. I think we'll have to see about that too. But yeah, it's kind of like the number one question, right? Hanging over the franchise, because until you decide on your head of baseball operations and kind of where he's at, that kind of leads to, everything else being frozen in place a little bit. But until then, I think, the Padres clearly have some issues about maybe not maximizing all this talent on their roster the last couple Octobers. And as you saw last night, the Mariners basically won that game in a pitcher-friendly ballpark, by the way, with 3 swings of the bat, two solo home runs, and a go-ahead double by Julio Rodriguez in the 8th. So it can be done, and I think the Padres just have not been doing that the past couple of years. So there's an issue there.
Dennis, when the World Series is over in about a month, that's when you have to make your first kind of player personnel decisions, contract options, qualifying offers, and such. We know AJ always has plans upon plans upon plans. What do you see as being the most important early off-season decisions that have to be made first for the San Diego Padres?
Well, I think you start with the pending free agents, the guys with options in their contracts, right? I think starting pitching is going to be the number one concern, even though we just talked about, I guess, kind of their lack of power throughout this season. But you're going to be looking at a rotation, most likely, if Michael King and Dylan Cease leave, which I think they will. Of you Darvish, you've got those concerns there with his elbow. Is he going to give you more than 15 starts next year? Is he going to even be pitching next year? Is Joe Musgrove going to be, back to normal coming off Tommy John surgery? What can you kind of expect or rely on from Randy Vasquez, who's kind of been this miraculous kind of pitcher in the last couple of years? And that's credit to him because he's resilient, obviously, and he gets really good results, but the underlying numbers have not been as great. So beyond Nick Pivetta, who's going to be back for the most likely the final year before he can opt out. There's not a lot of depth in the rotation. So you got to decide on, some of these guys who are going to be free agents and whether you want to make real offers or qualifying offers, I guess, in Dylan and Michael King's case to them and see where that takes you. But right now, I think starting pitching is probably the huge concern going into the off season.
Well, they cobbled it together this year with terrible year from Dylan Cease, Michael King barely pitching, Yu Darvish not being great. They cobbled it together. They figured out a way. Now, they have traded depth, as you mentioned, but the bullpen looks solid coming back. It looks really solid coming back. And for the first time in a long time, Dennis, I go, all right, I can see a starting lineup on paper opening day that's not going to make me, want to grab the vomit bag with, and again, you're not going to have to go out and grab 4 to 5 40-year-olds to plug holes on opening day. You're just not. You've got guys coming back, and you're like, okay, this looks good. The bullpen looks pretty good. They plugged a lot of holes this year in starting pitching. I could see us getting back to the playoffs, with what we have now. If you add 1 or 2 starting pitchers, man, it certainly doesn't feel as dire as it has in off seasons past.
Yeah, that's a good point. And also, I guess you wonder if Mason Miller is going to try to make the move back to rotation. I think I'd be inclined right now to say probably not, with Robert Suarez most likely leaving.
Yeah.
And you've also got other options. Is Adrian Morejon an option there to stretch back out? Is David Morgan, who's shown some multiple good pitches? I think kind of pitches that can fit in a rotation. Or do you kind of play it safe? And, Mason had some UCL problems last time tried to start in the majors, so maybe you don't risk that. And he's just so good in that role and so electric and so dominant that maybe it's just best to keep him there. But I think, you're right that the bullpen's going to be probably in decent shape. That's going to be there for you. It's just a matter of, can you get those guys a lead? Because those guys did not have a lead often enough this past week, and probably throughout the last couple of years.
Great. You talking to Dennis Lynn from The Athletic, and everyone should subscribe to The Athletic because you get pieces like that dropped this morning talking about pitch tipping. Obviously, a huge discussion, I think, every year, but, obviously it feels more fresh. You and Andy McCullough wrote it, and it's really, and Cody Stavenhagen as well. I wanted to give everybody their credit. But they were, you were talking about the Dodgers the other night. Matt Strom's on the mound. A lot of people thought Matt Strom was tipping. He went to Twitter the next day and said, this is how I've always pitched. I've got, he was doing it with the previous 2 guys at the plate, and I got them out. So how much of this is subterfuge? How much of this is a legitimate concern? And, from your perspective, are you finding starting pitchers or relievers going out there in their head already about an already very difficult job? Now they're worried to see if guys are picking up the grips in their glove.
Yeah, it's a huge thing in the front of mind of pitchers around the game. I remember talking to Dylan Cease for the story that you're talking about, and he was very open about it. Just you just have to be worried all the time. And I even asked about, I don't know if you guys remember before he threw that no-hitter last year, he started bringing his glove closer to his torso just to supposedly at the time, to be more smooth in his delivery, just kind of iron out his mechanics. And so I asked after the fact just a few weeks ago, is that partly to, guard against pitch tipping too? And he said, yeah, I'm pretty sure that I remember that's what it was too. And then he threw a no-hitter, but then, this year things were not great, just overall for him as a season. And I wonder how much of that had to do with just, tipping his pitches or thinking he was tipping his pitches, because I think we've all experienced, like Dylan seems like a pretty deep thinker sometimes. So who knows how much he got in his own head about it. But yeah, I mean, there's another example in there too of, Patrick Bailey dancing around on second base in late April against Nick Pivetta.
Yeah.
And Ruben Yebla said after the fact that Patrick Bailey had texted them, or they texted Patrick Bailey, I guess, guys on the team that know him after that game, like, did you have anything? And he was like, no, I don't have S.
No, I don't have anything. I was just messing with him.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I went up to Patrick Bailey when the Giants came back to Petco the last time, and I straight up asked him. He's like, yeah, I didn't have anything that night. And it's just, you're trying to create a sense of paranoia, and apparently in that case, it sort of worked because there was a mound visit by Niebla.
Pivetta was furious.
But also, Pivetta got out of that inning, I think, without damage. So,
but how do you believe anything? Because I mean, if Bailey did have something, the last thing he'd say is,
I got something.
I have something. He'd say, of course, no, I don't have anything. I'm just faking. But he might really have something.
No
you
one
never
knows.
really know.
Well, listen to this story they tell. This is my favorite one. Dodgers officials met with reliever Alex Vesia. They pulled up a side-by-side video of his fastball and his slider. He's a two-pitch pitcher. They're like, hey, do you notice anything different? He goes, no. I'm coming set the same way. And they said, look at your mouth. Before he threw sliders, he chomped on a wad of gum. On fastballs, his jaw stayed still. So he just stopped chewing gum entirely. Is that not the most insane behavior and detail? I mean, that's why the Dodgers are the Dodgers. They said, when you throw a slider, you start chomping your gum. When you throw a fastball, you don't. That's bananas that somebody could pick that up. Bananas, Dennis.
Yeah, I'll give you guys another one that didn't make into the story, but I think there's a brief mention or allusion to it. But Jason Adams said he's been pretty much going up half size and glove size every single year, just because a lot of it, it's just like guys on second base are looking into your gloves.
Yeah.
And if your glove's smaller, I guess your hand's going to be showing more, right? So just keep getting bigger and bigger gloves until you have a glove the size of, I guess, the entire mound. And then no one could see you inside that glove.
Yeah, it looks like a parachute on your hand. Yeah, just a massive, massive glove.
Or just be like Mason Miller and never let anybody get to second base at all.
That's right.
Then you don't have to worry so much about it, Dennis.
So good, man. So good. Such a good piece, dude. Like, fascinating. Everybody should go read it. It's brilliant, as all your pieces are. But this one was a personal favorite. And Ben Fritz is in there. A lot of Padres guys are in there, too. It's great.
Well, thanks, guys. Yeah, it was a fun one to work on, and I guess the Padres have to wonder like how much, because they're not mentioned among the teams who are, like, I guess, really good at picking up tells. So maybe that's something else they have to work on in the off season.
I'm not the guy. Don't ask me.
Studying
I would never
more
know.
film of the other teams to try to find tells.
I would never know.
Well, you know what? We'll put the tier ones on it.
Yeah, they will find it.
They've got time.
That's
They're
true.
going to go and find everything. Dennis, really appreciate it. Thank you for all your contributions throughout the season. If you do end up going to Australia, have a great time. Hopefully, we'll catch up with you at some point in the offseason as the Padres start making some moves.
That sounds good, guys. Thanks for the opportunity this year. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Dylan. You crushed it, buddy.
There he is. Dennis Lynn, our Linsider from The Athletic. Appreciate everything he's done all season long. And you are right, Woods. The Athletic is truly there's a lot of things that ask you for subscriptions nowadays. But if you're a baseball fan, if you're a sports fan, Athletic has some of the best writers in the business and usually good content on multiple levels every single day.
The baseball coverage is second to none. It's
really is fantastic. Yep. We haven't really gotten into much football yet. So when we come back, Paulie's going to have a Reindl Report, and he's going to dive in with a little bit of what went on over the weekend.
Pretty ridiculous ending to the Arizona game.
Never seen anything like
that.
It.
And some big
half.
Breaking music news this morning.
Oh, yes.
All right, it's all coming up. 1 hour to go. Ben Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Final hour of Ben and Woods. Our thanks again to Dennis Lynn from The Athletic for appearing on our David P. Shapiro fan hotline. Facing criminal charges, trust David P. Shapiro criminal defense attorneys, helping clients regain control since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com. Mark Sanchez may need to give David P. Shapiro a call. Just an update this morning that they have upgraded the charges against Mark Sanchez from misdemeanors to a felony. Which means serious business, and I would not expect to see Mark Sanchez on TV anytime soon.
When we talked about it and don't do this, you guys hadn't seen the pictures, the reported pictures of the man who was attacked by Mark Sanchez.
I could not believe.
He looks like he was fighting for his life.
It looked like a tiger mauled his face. Yeah. There was a gash down. I'm like, he's not the one that got stabbed? Holy crap. Yeah, Mark Sanchez is in some deep, deep trouble. Some deep
I asked, I was like, you guys think he can't keep his job, right? Now
I don't think so.
No chance.
No chance.
He's done.
It's gnarly. It's gnarly.
So before we get to the Reindl Report, we had I thought a fairly innocuous conversation during the break.
Strap in,
heard
everyone.
A promo for the Gwynn and Chris program. Our friend Tony Gwynn Jr. was talking about the Aztecs game, and they'll be on this afternoon, starting at 2:00, leading up to Monday Night Football. And I said, you guys remember to text Tony a happy birthday this weekend. Celebrated a birthday, I believe, on Saturday.
Hang on. You were getting up to go use the restroom.
Correct.
And as you were walking out of the studio, you said, I texted Tony a happy birthday over the weekend. I said, yeah, me too.
I said, me too.
Yeah, me too. Then what happened?
And then I said, did he text you guys back?
But yeah.
And Paulie said, yeah, I did. Nice text back from Tony.
Yeah, read yours, Paul. And what time did you send it?
Tony, let's see.
All right, well, I think this is important. What time?
I think it's absolutely important. Saturday afternoon. I texted him at 12:20 p.m.
12:20 p.m. And
he texted me back I said, happy birthday, my guy. Wishing you an amazing day. Hope all is well.
Okay. And he said.
And at 3:17 p.m., he says, thank you, Paul. An exclamation mark.
3:17 p.m.
Yeah. Okay. Hours.
And Woods, you texted him.
1:02 p.m. Yep. Happy birthday, my G. Saturday, 3:21 p.m. Thank you, Woodsy. Appreciate you,
4
brother.
minutes after me. Okay.
Yeah.
So he was off his phone, maybe catching up on some texts.
All right. So he is on his phone in the 3:00 hour, you're saying?
Yep.
Because I text.
I think it was all he was doing in the 3:00 hour.
All right.
Sounds like anybody that texted him probably got a text back.
I texted him at 3:12 p.m. Happy birthday, Tony. Hope you have a good one.
When was yours, Paulie?
3:17 is when he texted me back.
I got mine back at 3:21.
So he was on his phone within 10 minutes of getting a text from me as well.
And your time was what time?
3:12.
5 minutes before
and he
my
texted
text.
Both of you guys back later. Obviously, you guys had texted earlier, so I was, later in the queue, I guess.
I don't know. My wife just texted me, and he responded to her Instagram message.
Oh my god!
So am I the only one Tony didn't text back?
I am D-E-A-D. I am dead.
It didn't bother me in the least bit when I didn't get a text back. His birthday, God. I'm like, I actually think good for him. Enjoy your birthday. Don't spend it texting everyone back. So I assume that's just he was busy doing stuff with the family. Now that I find out that not only did he text all of you back, but did it in the exact same moments that I texted him, I'm starting to feel a little unsure of myself.
Pete in the chat says he replied to me. He doesn't even know me. Oh, it hurts. Oh my god, it hurts. Oh,
Matt Scraby's in the chat. He's
Pete, he replied to me. He doesn't even know me.
Ben possibly blocked on Tony's phone. Did he not even get my text?
Did it come up green?
I mean, we've had, text chains
come up
before.
green?
We don't text a lot, but no, it came up blue, and we have a history of, text going back several years. So he should have me in his phone. I have a little picture. Actually, in my phone, it comes up as Anthony. I've known him for that long.
Anthony Gwynn.
Comes up as Anthony Gwynn in my phone.
I am. The fact that he was in the midst of texting everybody back. While he sends it and it comes through, he's like, F that guy. It's so good, dude. It's like the worst feeling. Like, what did I do?
Like Ben was halfway to the bathroom and he just let it slip out. Like, oh, he didn't text me back. We're like, wait, get your ass back here. What? Are you serious?
It's so good.
Okay, well, I'm sure there's a logical explanation.
He hates you and he hates your roundtable
questions
so much.
I hope that's not the logical explanation. I'm sure there's another logical explanation.
That is so good.
It's just that you couldn't even script it, man. Like I couldn't come up with that bit idea. I couldn't come up with that bit idea in 100 years if it was fake. I mean, it's so good. I love it. Well, we love you, Tony. Paul and I do for sure. And hope you had a very happy birthday.
Does Tony realize how rare it is for me to actually even reach out and bother to do it? Like
I know.
I actually did it. I actually reached out and did it.
I felt so bad. I felt so bad on my birthday this year because I was in England for my birthday. And I'm good about writing everybody back, saying thank you. I was in England. I mean, I was out of my mind. Like I was running around like crazy and I didn't really get a chance to. So I'm going back in DMs and people will DM me something else about the Padres. And I'll see this beautiful birthday message that they sent me that I never responded to, but I always respond. And this year I didn't. So, but Tony's obviously clearly
response.
responded.
Like you can get the minute, like
There's
lowercase t, lowercase y,
or just a heart.
Thank you, or just a heart,
or
just heart, like a thumbs
like
up, even
thumbs up. Yeah.
I'm dying.
That's spectacular. Funny. He's texting strangers back. Strangers are getting text back and you're not. That's incredible, dude. Oh, it's so incredible.
All right. Now we'll find out more maybe this afternoon. Scravy's in the chat, so he knows what went on and he can ask Tony about it this afternoon on their show.
Maggie says this is manufactured to get ratings. It's not. Hold your phone up, dude.
I really wish it was.
I couldn't have come up with this.
Where is it? Happy birthday. That's shiny. Too no.
There it is.
Lost it now.
You tried. That's great. Let's get to the Reindl Report.
And get things started here with our today's edition of the Reindl Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Reindl Report with Paul Reindl.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Reindl Report.
Hey, Paul, how you doing?
Okay, how are you?
On 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a oh yeah?
All right.
Does anyone want an update?
Oh, you got an update already?
Update?
I just got a heart
from Tony.
And I got an I appreciate you, Ben.
And even better.
I just got it back. Doesn't feel quite organic anymore, but
how could it not?
I hope you had a really good birthday, Tony. I really did.
Love you, Tony.
I really
did. Love you too. That's so good.
All right. It's the Reindl Report brought to you by your local Kia dealers. Visit kia.com to discover movement that inspires. Gentlemen, we'll start off in the NFL. Several crazy games yesterday coming down to the wire, but I think we have to focus on the absolute collapse by the Arizona Cardinals. They lost 22-21 to the Tennessee Titans. At one point, Arizona choked away a 21-3 lead. Like in the second half, I think.
Yeah.
Really was 27-3 for a moment.
Yeah. Where do you even start with this game? I think you have to start there. They had a breakaway touchdown that was called flagged because for the second time in like a week or
2 weeks, yeah,
we saw a player as he was crossing the goal line let go of the football a little too early. And what is that? A touchback for the other team. Yeah.
So Amari DiMercato was going in untouched, got to the 1-inch line and just does the let go of the ball as he's crossing into the goal line move.
I was trying to think of like a comp in other sports. Like I think we settled on if you hit a home run and you're trotting around the bases and you're coming up towards home plate and you stomp on home plate, except you jump over home plate and never tag it.
You jump over home plate because you have a bit you want to do and you jump over home plate. You never touch home plate and it goes from a home run to an out.
Yeah.
You're out.
Probably
the touch the
most similar. I mean, like we've seen this happen a few times. Like I said, it happened recently, but we've seen it happen a few times over the years. The fact that it even happened once, I think, is probably pretty egregious. The fact that any football player that could ever possibly score a touchdown knows that that's happened, and it's happened more than once.
It happened
even
last
more
week.
Egregious.
It happened last week. You're a running back. You're used to running into the end zone. I understood Leon Lett, the defensive end grabbing a ball. Woohoo, look at me, a touchdown. They knock it out of his. Part of me understands it because you're unfamiliar and you don't know what you're doing. You're a running back. You've been scoring touchdowns your entire life. You know what it means to get in the end zone, secure the ball, and then you can dance. And
you also know there's probably one of the fastest people in
on
the world
your
trying to chase you down.
Yes.
Even if you don't see them, they might be there.
You hear them. You know they're there.
You know they're coming.
So
I can't believe
that
it,
would have
man.
put them up 28 if they make the extra point, 28-3 over the worst team in football, and that game's over.
Game's over.
Didn't work out that way. Tennessee fights back, claws their way, and there was another play where a pass was. Arizona had the ball.
Tennessee was driving to close the gap. They throw an interception inside like the 5-yard line. It's like, okay, that's probably it. It's over now.
Interception. The guy just he catches the ball cleanly, just fall to the ground, and the game is probably over. Instead, as he's falling to the ground, the ball falls out. And then another Arizona defensive player kicks the ball into the end zone, and people are diving for it. Who ends up with it? Tennessee. It goes from an interception to a touchdown in the blink of an eye. And they go on. They kick the game-winning field goal.
Yeah, they scored on 3 straight drives to win the game 22-21.
They've lost, it says here, the first franchise since the 1970 merger to lose 3 straight games on game-winning field goals, Arizona.
I actually saw a guy in Arizona today, and I go, I don't know if I love this or hate it. He said, everyone's being emotional, but they basically lost 3 walk-offs in a row. Like, that's not that bad. And I went, okay. Yeah, we get other teams. We played right down to the wire, blah, blah, blah. We lost on a walk-off 3 nights, 3 weekends
or whatever. Yeah.
But this one, you had this thing in the bag in the fourth quarter with 12 minutes left. Like, you basically just had to run the clock out and punt. And you couldn't do that. You made plays. You broke this run.
Yeah,
you made
the interception.
You made this pick. You
were
made
up
plays.
21-3. You're playing well.
It's one of the worst losses I have ever seen, and it's almost unbelievable until you watch the film of it. Like the low lights of it, you can't even wrap your head around how this happened.
There's another game. The Buccaneers beat the Seahawks on a last-second field goal, and I believe I heard it correctly that every win the Bucs have. What are they? 4-1.
4-1. All 4 wins.
All 4 wins came on game-winning field goals in the last 60 seconds of the game.
23-20 over Atlanta, 20-19 over Houston, 29-27 over the Jets, and now 38-35 over the Seahawks.
So essentially just the opposite of the Cardinals. Are the Bucs a good team or a lucky team?
In baseball, they would say this is not sustainable. Right. This is not sustainable.
They're now over a quarter of the way through their season at 4-1.
That's right.
Little Mayfield magic.
Oh, my gosh, man.
Move on here. Got some breaking news this morning in rock and roll. Rush is returning to the stage.
So happy for them.
This will be their first tour since 2015.
Since Neil Peart died.
And they have not played any shows since Neil Peart died in January of 2020. So Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson are going to be joining up with, it says here, German drummer Annika Niles, who from Consequence here writes a lot about music. They said she first caught attention on YouTube in the early 2010s and has since toured with Jeff Beck and released albums as a solo act with her backing band. So
the beauty is, as I kind of had a feeling this was coming, they interviewed, Neil Peart, one of the best drummers, if not the best drummer of all time. And everyone has their favorite, but he's on the Mount Rushmore, if you will. He died. It was horrible. Those guys have been together since forever. And they said, we can't go back on tour. It was like Zeppelin with John Bonham. They're like, we can't, it's not Rush without him. And then I saw this little story. We're talking to Geddy Lee about something else entirely. I think about his baseball collection. Like he collects baseballs and baseball cards. He has one of the biggest collections on the planet.
That's cool.
And they asked him about Rush. He goes, "Oh, Alex and I jam all the time. He comes over and we jam. We've been best friends since we were in high school. So yeah, he comes over and we jam and we noodle around with some new ideas." I went, "You SOBs are gonna get back on the road, aren't you? Like you can't stay away that long." And
something. Are you ready to get your world rocked?
Ready? Yes.
Are you ready to get your mind blown?
Do it.
You want to get some Neil Peart all up in you?
I don't know.
You do.
Well, prepare to be Russified.
I wonder, I think this girl just shreds on the drums too, which will be incredible to see.
It'd be fun.
Obviously, the biggest stool to fill of all time is Neil Peart. It's
No
going to be
kidding.
crazy, but I'm just so happy for those dudes because, like I said, they've been best friends since they were little kids. This is all they've ever done. I think they're doing 7 cities, 10 dates.
12 dates total.
12
I just got
dates.
the email.
7 in North America.
2 in LA to start at the Forum in June 7th and 9th. Then 1 in Mexico City, 2 in Fort Worth, 2 in Chicago, 2 in New York, Madison Square Garden, 2 in Toronto, 1 in Cleveland. That's it. It's not quite a Taylor Swift tour. It's just 12 dates.
You get back out there after 10 years and see what works, and then plan the next tour after
It's
that.
got to be hard to sing like Geddy Lee after all those years.
No kidding.
He's like, now he's like a modern day warrior, mean stride. Today's Tom Sawyer, mean. Hey guys, we're gonna take it down like 4 keys, all right? Because nobody
Can't hit those notes anymore.
No, not even close. But it made my heart warm when I saw that today, that they're back and doing what they love to do, and what they were put on this planet to do is melt faces. So welcome back, Rush.
All right, finally, I got a question for you guys. Well, actually, I already know the answer. You guys never ran any 5Ks, did you? Do you guys know what a 5K is?
It's
How many miles?
3.5.
Close, 3.1. So what would a 50K be? Move the decimal.
30.1. 31.
31 miles. There is this past weekend in Denver, they had a marathon race called the Taco Bell 50K.
50K.
That is a 31-mile run that includes 10 mandatory stops at Taco Bell's along the way. I'd never heard of this. I don't know how you could possibly get through 31 miles. That's 5 miles more than a marathon. Like that is a ridiculous feat in and of itself.
And what do you have to do at the Taco Bells?
You have to eat Taco Bell.
Every single Taco
every
Bell,
stop
you have
you
to
go.
eat something? Or
So it
is
says you have to order something at 9 of the 10 Taco Bells.
Okay.
You have to eat the food, all of it. It includes a Chalupa Supreme, a Crunchwrap Supreme, either one of those by the 4th stop. So it's like all mapped out for you. You have to have a Burrito Supreme or 1 Nachos Bel Grande
No way.
by the 8th stop. You need to finish the 31 miles within 11 hours. And you got to keep all of your receipts and wrappers to prove that you ate everything at each stop.
So you're actually stopping, waiting in line, buying something, eating it, and then continuing the
And then you
race.
keep
There's
on
video
running.
here. There are big lines at all the Taco Bells as all the runners get there, and they have to wait in line to order their food before they can continue on running.
This is the 8th year of the Taco Bell 50K. It happened over the weekend in Denver. I had never heard of this, never seen it. It seems like the craziest thing I have ever seen.
Did people actually finish this thing, huh?
Oh, yeah. 31 miles with 10 Taco Bell stops along the way.
Do you lose weight or gain weight
Gain.
over the course of the run?
I think you gain.
I mean, you burn a lot of calories
You do.
at 30 miles.
But you're stopping every
9 times.
Every 9 times. That's what, every 3 miles or so?
Figure an average of 500 calories per menu item.
They
at Taco Bell. They're
estimated,
small, but they're loaded in calories. So that's like 4,500 calories consumed. And you burn about the same. It's probably about a wash.
Can you imagine running 31 miles and it's a net wash on your body?
Yeah, it's the taste of a Chalupa Crunch Wrap or whatever.
Oh, God.
Oh,
So
that's-
Taco Bell's not in any way affiliated with this. It's just something
they
that some
do?
people kind of started, and it's grown. They expected about 600 participants this weekend. They didn't even really name a winner. It was just kind of, let's all do this for fun, I guess.
It's nasty.
Yeah,
dude.
Taco
I mean, I
Bell.
like
To
Taco
say
Bell as
that
much
we
as the
did it.
next. I like it as much as the next guy, but I could not eat it and run a 0.1K.
This just seems cruel. It showed up on the video if anybody was watching that we played on the YouTube stream here, but it says you're banned from on-course stomach medicines like Pepto or Pepsi.
You're banned. That's like a
Alka-Seltzer,
performance-enhancing
anything
drug. You tested positive for Pepto.
Yeah.
And you're disqualified from the race.
Nasty.
If you vomit,
Yeah.
disqualified.
Okay.
Wow.
It's gross.
Yeah.
There's no need for this.
There's no need for it at all. All right, let's
Thank you,
let's
Paulie.
take a quick time
You're
out.
welcome.
You heard Paulie mention the ugliest loss in NFL football yesterday. What about the ugliest loss in college football on Saturday. We can talk a little NCAA and more when we come back. Ben and Woods, after traffic on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3. The Fan. Maybe you were watching football over the weekend, and maybe you were doing it with Prize Picks. I've been encouraging you to get started. It's very easy to get started with Prize Picks and turn your sports watching and knowledge into real money. At Prize Picks, it's fun to be right, and it pays to be right. You're setting daily fantasy sports lineups between 2 and 6 players, picking more or less on their stat projections. So football over the weekend, you're watching your favorite stars like Saquon Barkley, more or less than 1 rushing touchdown, or Josh Allen last night, more or less than 270 passing yards. The more you put together, the more you can win. Go up to 6 on a power play, you can get big odds to win. If you go 2, or you go maybe 4 or 5, but a flex play where you don't have to get everyone right, less odds, better chance to win. You can play any kind of game you like with Prize Picks. Plus, now you can follow other Prize Picks players directly on the app, copy their lineups in one click. Whether it's a friend, a celebrity partner, or just someone whose picks you like, hit the follow button. Check out every lineup they create in the new feed tab on Prize Picks. When you sign up, though, make sure you use the code KWFN to get $50 in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. That's free money to get started. Code KWFN to get $50 in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
Hey player, this is all yours. This room with this view. This speakeasy with this cocktail. Hey, could you make that too? This spa with this. Ah. And this pool on this roof. This is all for you. The all-new Hamul Casino Resort, now open.
Talk about the ugly loss by the Arizona Cardinals. I don't know that in college football, Woods, it got any worse than the Penn State Nittany Lions, who had national championship aspirations to start the season. With preseason ranked number 2.
Yeah.
And of course, came up short in their big matchup against Oregon last week. Hey, no shame necessarily losing to Oregon. But then they go to UCLA, winless UCLA. They've just fired their head coach. And I watched a little bit of that game. They got dominated for most of the game by UCLA. A nice turnaround by the Bruins after an 0-4 start to then beat a top 10 ranked Penn State team. But that's got to go down in college football this year as one of the ugliest losses that any team is going to sustain. And once again, it comes for James Franklin and the Penn State Nittany Lions, who have been able to get close to the top of the mountain, but can never get over the hump in the last few years.
He doesn't only lose big games, he loses games that he should win, and that's one that he absolutely should have won. I bet you so much money and parlays were lost over the weekend. That was easy money.
Seemed like 24.5-point favorites,
dude.
I think, and that seemed like that was pretty generous. Like, I think they can cover that. They didn't even win. Now, a couple of videos I enjoyed afterwards. So when they hired their new head coach, replacing Deshaun Foster, Tim Skipper, they elevated Jerry Neuheisel to offensive coordinator. He's Rick Neuheisel's son.
14-year-old Jerry Neuheisel.
I think he's in his 30s, but he's blonde. He looks like just a kid calling plays for the first time ever. And his dad, Rick, is on the on the desk for Fox, right? And he's sitting there in the studio. He's watching the end of the game, and they took a video of him just absolutely cheering, like, call this, go for 2. He's like, yes. He's like cheering for his son, which I thought was very heartwarming.
So badass.
And then after the game, Jerry Neuheisel, I had never heard him speak. I've heard Rick Neuheisel millions of times on, as a coach and television analyst talk about, college football. Jerry opens his mouth and I'm going, he talks just like his dad.
Spitting image.
Absolutely.
But all things you learn from. Like, I hate to say this, but I had never practiced with the headset in terms of like the button to talk to the quarterback. So there's like multiple times during the game I'm calling the play, but the headset's flipped up because I'm used to being a position coach. And then all of a sudden I'm pressing the wrong part of the button trying to talk to him. Like it was a mess. Hopefully we'll get that cleaned up by next week. But just one of those days. It just all kind of fell into place.
That looks like AI.
It looks like AI. It looks and sounds like AI.
It doesn't speak very well for Penn State that they lost to a team that didn't even know how to work their own headsets.
He had no idea. Hello, run it. Force 36 option right. What? Oh, I got to put the thing down.
Push the button.
That was so cool. And then he got carried off the field by his own players. That was it was one of the greatest things you'll ever see in college football. It was spectacular. How about University of Texas? So now, Ben, 1 and 2. Preseason 1 and 2.
Out of the top 20.
Out of the top 20.
Completely
just like
after
that.
Texas lost to Florida, mediocre Florida, 29-21.
I hadn't watched a ton of Texas this year, but I kept seeing a lot of, they looked like hot takes, I'll be the guy that's going to say Arch Manning, not that great. Watched a good amount of that game.
It's not that great.
He doesn't look all that great.
They showed a video, and again, very obviously the name is everything and very highly touted, but they showed it's gone around on social media. I'm sure you guys have seen it. They're like this was Arch Manning's competition in high school. It was like, dude, what are we talking about here? It's like these young, big chubby kids trying to keep up with him. He was a man among boys in high school. And, obviously the pedigree, he still has a chance to be a very good quarterback at some point. But it's not going to be the storybook that University of Texas fans had drawn up this year.
I mean, who would you rather have as your quarterback, Arch Manning or Jaden Denigal?
Jaden Denigal right now, the highest grades in college football.
Who would have ever thought that we'd be even considering it? San Diego State might have a better quarterback right now than the University of Texas.
4-1?
Aztecs are 4-1 now after their win over the weekend over Colorado State. Another impressive one, and as you said, metrically ranked the top offense in college football over the weekend.
Yeah.
The San Diego State Aztecs.
As we all
off that barn burner last
6-3,
week.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there really wasn't a lot of great games. The best one was probably Miami, Florida State. Hurricanes are now really have a path to an undefeated season without much pushback.
I needed that dub so badly.
Yeah, 28-22, they beat Florida State. Carson Beck, 4 touchdown passes, and you look at their remaining schedule. I mean, there's obviously you have a bad week, anyone can lose, but there's no more ranked opponents. There's really nothing stopping them from at least an appearance in the college football playoff. Certainly getting to the conference championship game, and likely now a favorite to be one of the 12 teams. And they're up to number 2 in the country now, behind only Ohio State. So a really good start to the season for the Miami Hurricanes.
Yeah, very, very good. I needed that as a Notre Dame fan, and their 2 losses are to 2 top 5 teams. So, okay, I can roll with that. Irish did beat Boise State over the weekend, so that was fun to watch. Mixed in with some baseball, but that UCLA was a special win, man. That really was, and that watching him get carried off, feel like Rudy was bananas, and he's grinning from ear to ear. Now, obviously, that kid, he played quarterback. He grew up around the game. What a nice find, and a kid that obviously knows the ins and outs.
Yeah, I'm not going to make too many proclamations for a 1-4 team in one game, but
for sure,
it was certainly a nice moment.
He's 1-0.
Yeah,
as the OC, so he's 1-0. So that's pretty good.
All right, let's take a time out. Last segment, we can get back to some baseball, look ahead to the matchups, playoffs today, some more Padres talk as well as we head toward 10 o'clock. Wrap things up on a Monday edition of Ben & Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. GEGE 0000466. For a full list of games and rules, play at 7 Mile Casino. Visit 7milecasino.com.
Monday morning, you're probably not thinking at the moment about going to play cards, but I always like to mention that there are a lot of people who have different schedules out there. Maybe you're coming off the midnight to 8 a.m. shift and trying to think of the times that would work, and you're looking to unwind a little bit. 7 Mile Casino is a 24/7 option where you can go play cards, have a meal, have a good time. Any time of the day, any day of the week.
Texas Hold'em, Pai Gow Poker, Baccarat, and of course, California-style blackjack. You will be greeted with a California-style blackjack table as soon as you open the door and walk inside a smoke-free environment. Off to your left, you will find a bar, restaurant area. They got great food, friendly dealers, clean environment. It's everything you're looking for in the proximity. You cannot beat just 7 minutes from downtown.
Yeah, food really is delicious. It's Sammy's, which is Sammy's has been around for a long time in San Diego. Pizzas, pastas, but 24/7 players menus unique to 7 Mile Casino with the Kung Pao chicken, the Asian pork chop with the slaw that Woods loves. You still got the great desserts, the messy sundae. It's all available at Sammy's at 7 Mile, 24/7. The weekend brunch, got to wait until Saturday and Sunday, but best in the South County as well. Check it out today, 7 Mile Casino, just 7 minutes from downtown.
Hey, player, this is all yours. This room with this view. This speakeasy with this cocktail. Hey, could you make that too? The spa with this. Ah. And this pool on this roof. This is all for you. The all-new Hamul Casino Resort, now open.
Two playoff games today in the National League, games 2 of both series. And interestingly, Woods, every single starting pitcher today is left-handed for all 4 teams. They're all throwing a lefty out there. Now, one of them is an opener, Aaron Ashby, for the Milwaukee Brewers. He'll be going up against Shota Imanaga, lefty-lefty. And then the Dodgers-Phillies game, it's Blake Snell against Jesus Luzardo.
What a game.
So, lots of southpaws.
What a game.
It feels like it's a must-win game for the Phillies today, correct?
Oh, big time. You don't want to go back to L.A. You've already lost home field advantage, so you don't want to go back to L.A. down 2-0, which very well could be the case. I saw some of the numbers against Blake Snell, who looks unhittable. I mean, he really looks unhittable right now, and that's the benefit of stashing him on the IR until, July, August, whatever. It's the plan that we all knew was the plan. They got away with it. And it's working beautifully. They're now able to pitch. They're able to supplement their bullpen with a number 1 starter in Tyler Glasnow. So,
and Roki Sasaki
has seems to have
pitched well. Also
figured it out a little bit. Again, he was stashed down for many, many, many months. And so, yeah, it's you take your biggest weakness and make it no longer a weakness. They feel inevitable again, which is going to be tough. It's going to be tough for all of us to see them win another World Series championship, but they look pretty good. They look pretty good. Blake Snell looks really, really sharp right now. And they have not hit him particularly well in Philly, but anything can happen. It's postseason. Luzardo has pitched okay against the Dodgers as well. So it just, who's the better?
You think the Dodgers did it on purpose?
I know
their strategy.
I know they.
Now the Padres also employed the same strategy. I think it was more accidental,
out of necessity.
By Yu Darvish limited innings, Michael King limited innings.
Yeah, but they were all injured.
Well, right, and so the Dodgers also claim that their pitchers were injured.
You can claim all you want.
Right.
I said that they were going to do it. They did it. I got DM from a guy that is very close to their organization, not Skip Schumacher, by the way, that said, no, it's absolutely a strategy. It's worked. It's absolutely, they phantom IL'd their way to this. And again, they didn't do anything wrong. I'm not saying that they're cheating. They find a way to take every edge, and they did it.
It's interesting because obviously you want to have aces who come up huge in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And we've seen
it's a risk.
Some aces come up huge, but we've also seen a couple of youngsters with no experience whatsoever come up huge.
Trey Savage, man.
In the first round, it was Cam Schlittler of the Yankees who came up huge in Game 3. But
he'll have to do it again.
Yesterday, it was Trey Savage for the Toronto Blue Jays.
4th start ever, I believe.
Yeah, 3 regular season starts, and then he goes in a home game and tosses
hits.
5 1/3 no-hit innings and strikes out 11. And gets a standing
Absolutely.
ovation from those Blue Jays fans in Toronto.
Man, they went and talked to his parents, and it was like the coolest thing ever, talking to his parents. And they're like, was he always been, he's really cool and calm and collected kind of guy. And his mom goes, I think I don't know where they're from, but his mom had a little accent to her. She's like, he's always had ice in his veins since he was a little kid. I was like, oh, it's so good. They really, really, he put the wood to those
Pottstown,
guys.
Pennsylvania.
So they had a little bit. He was great. And the dad was like, oh, yeah, we were hanging out with him this morning. It was great. And that was awesome. It was an awesome performance. He was ridiculous. I read something, too. The Yankees have some video thing. I think all teams but 4 have it. I can't remember the name of it. But it is AI. It's AI with the angle of like, it is exactly like, hey, here's exactly what you're going to see tonight. Right. So I can go in the cage. Ben Higgins is on the bump.
Yeah.
And it's got him essentially, and the ball comes out in the right spot and all the different pitch mixes with the RPMs and everything fed in there. I mean, you're getting a look at the starting pitcher, and you can't travel with it. Now, Savage, I guess, has the highest release point in baseball. So they said it just flummoxed them. They just had no idea what to do once they saw it come out from, way up top. So they were just a mess. Traject, that's what it's called. Traject. And I don't know if we have it or not.
I'm not sure. As people were asking whether the Padres had that system. The Padres have been one of the more advanced technological teams with the new pitching lab that they created and everything. They're certainly not afraid of that kind of technology, but have they installed it? I'm not sure about that one.
I need money to go back to that. He said the Phantom IL is, in fact, against the rules. I know it is. GM Billy Epler lost his job for it. That being said, this is something that they have done in LA for a while, right? And I think Billy Epler, I want to say there was something else. It was one of those, like, we're kind of looking for a reason.
The Phantom IL
is such a real thing. We've done it. We've done it.
Yeah, I mean, it's when they're really talking more about when you need to call up a player like for a series and you don't have anyone hurt. So you just say, you're hurt today.
Right.
And we'll bring you back in 10 days. When it comes to pitchers and they're out for months, that's a different sort of thing. That, you can always probably legitimately say a pitcher is not 100% healthy.
Correct.
There's really no pitcher who's ever, pretty much since youth, that their arm is ever going to be 100% all the time. And I think you can safely say, we want to get him back 100%. He's only like 94% right now. So we're going to rest him until he's 100%.
For 3 months.
You're not really lying. He is not 100%.
It's true.
Because the only way to get to 100% is by not pitching ever.
Right.
And so in that sense, I think it is legitimate. Now, most teams can't afford to
do it.
Pitch their best pitchers because they won't make it to the playoffs without their best pitchers.
When you have a 12-man rotation, it certainly leads to the ability to do that. But you just brought up the pitching lab, and it's funny because I was on Instagram this weekend, and I saw our King Ruben Niebla was already back at work in the pitching lab. And I had DM'd him after the season to tell him what a great job he did, what a great job his pitching staff did. I actually said in my DM, I said, Ruben, we probably win 60 games without the guys in the bullpen and some of the starters as well. Like, you guys were incredible. We're not where we are without the work of the pitching staff this year. Period. The end. Did not have the biggest names, and some of the biggest names did not pitch up to snuff. So I just thanked him for a great job. I love Ruben. And then I see him in the lab like the next day, and I'm like, dude, back at it already? And he goes, yeah. And it was him and Randy Vasquez, and they were in the pitching lab. And I said, what's the logic behind that? And I guess I never thought of it this way. He said, no, the best way to get the guys set on their plan is to kind of find out where they ended the year. And you don't want to give them like a month off and then say, hey, come on down to the lab and we'll do it. He goes, you want to do it right after the season ends. He said, got to make sure we have good plans for the offseason. Right now is when I can capture a good deal with their arms being at full force still. So, yeah, imagine that, man. You have a really tough ending, and they're like, all right, you got to show up to work tomorrow. I'm going to get you your plan for the offseason. But that's the business these days.
It does make a lot of sense, because if you wait a month, then they got to build back up before you can really evaluate anything. But if you want them to work on stuff, adding pitches, changing anything, now's the time to do it. So they get started now. Now, we haven't talked about our Well, Tier 1 getting a new job with the Texas Rangers. We got a couple minutes left before we get to traffic. Sports Talk on the Fan is presented by Paramount Plus. You can't count on much, but you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Watch your local NFL game live every Sunday all season long. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today. And we'll talk a little bit more about Skip Schumacher's new gig right after traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Pretty good wrap up on our morning drive, guys. Got this one accident, though. It's on the Federal Boulevard on-ramp to westbound King Freeway. Couple vehicles involved, so just watch out for a little confusion there. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
So one job already filled. Quickly over the weekend, Chris Young let it be known that they were focusing on quote-unquote internal candidates in Texas. They weren't really putting together much of a list, and that's because they had already decided who their next manager was going to be, inking Skip Schumacher to a 4-year deal to replace Bruce Bochy as the manager of the Texas Rangers.
Very happy for Skip. Very happy for Texas. They got a good one, as you guys know. Skip's a great manager of the year. Did a lot with a little in Miami, and just great baseball guy, great friend of the program. So very excited for him, and he's the best. He's the best.
God, you really should be Skip Schumacher's agent.
Think I should be on his staff in some capacity. Gotten pretty good with.
He tried this a couple years ago.
Didn't work.
Miami.
I've gotten pretty good.
You
with
didn't get the call.
No, I didn't. But I've got a lot of experience under my belt since. Lots. If you can manage a T-ball team, I can be an infield coordinator for a big league team. If you can run a T-ball team successfully, you know how I feel.
So the funny thing is, you mentioned manager of the year. Not 2018, Brian Snitker, now out with the Braves.
Well, he's also 80 years old.
2019, Mike Schilt of the Cardinals was out a couple of years later, and now back. Don Mattingly, 2020 of the Marlins, quickly out. Gabe Kapler, 2021 of the Giants, out. Buck Showalter, 2022 of the Mets, out. 2023, Skip Schumacher of the Marlins, then out. Manager of the year is not necessarily any sign of job security in the future.
It's true. Why do you hate Skip Schumacher?
I don't. I'm just listing the managers of the year over the last year.
You're
Pat Murphy was last year.
Some kiss of death.
It seems like a kiss of death until Pat Murphy, who is the reigning National League Manager of the Year and has a chance to win it again.
May win it again.
Rarely see back-to-back. Kevin Cash did back-to-back in 2020 and 2021 for the Rays, but because once you've increased expectations, usually
then you have
no way that you can win it the next year.
It's very difficult. It's very difficult to, like, where do we go from here, right? You win a World Series.
Buddy Black was the manager of the year in 2020 that we had in studio last week. It's definitely, it shows you had a really good season, no doubt about that. Totally different situation, though, for Skip in Texas versus Florida. He's got more to work with, more expectations.
And more expectations,
but more to work with, better talented players. Can he keep Jacob deGrom healthy like he was this year? That's a huge deal for the Texas Rangers going forward. And
we're going to circle up with him at some point, and talk to him.
He hasn't even had his press conference in Texas yet, has he?
No. I would imagine today. Tomorrow, maybe?
Yeah, sometime this week.
Sometime this week.
I know they don't like to distract from the playoff games, but there's playoff games almost every day, so you got to kind of figure out the right time to do it. But
I was stoked for him. We sent him a little video from the fam, and he loved it. And, I had texted with him last week, and he said, well, I'm flying to Texas today. And I said, well, don't sign anything yet. You never know what could happen. And he ended up signing.
Signed right away.
It's
a good job.
It's a good job.
I mean, working with Chris Young.
Yep.
Working with a fairly, big media market,
young talent,
got some younger players, got some veteran players.
It's good. It's good sitch, man.
It
is.
No playoffs the last 2 years, but World Series the year before that.
Yep, way better than Florida, certainly.
So, not quite Southern California. So he's going to have to commute a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's the plan. Well, and again, we haven't talked to him, so we'll find out exactly what he wants to do. But I was pretty convinced he was going to go after the Angels job just because it was so close to him. But they allegedly are looking at Albert Pujols.
Artie Moreno kind of has his heart set on Albert Pujols.
That could be it, which would be cool to see him managing at the big league level. But
now, is that because they think he's the best manager, or because they're already paying him for like 10 years after his contract?
Don't they only pay him like a couple $100,000 a year? Is it more? It's like $1 million a year.
I know. It's like a 10-year personal services deal that went along with the original contract he signed with the Angels. So,
yeah, I mean, who knows if that'll work, but be good to see him get his shot as well. So I think there's more chips and things to fall in the next few days as well. So we'll keep an eye out for it.
All right. Good Monday Night Football game tonight. Chiefs and the Jaguars, who actually have a better record than the Chiefs going into the game. You'll hear it right here on 97.3 The Fan later today. First up, though, Braden coming up next. That's it for us. Hope everybody has a great rest of your Monday. For Paulie Reindl, our executive producer, for Stephen Woods, I'm Ben Higgins. Thanks for joining us here. Ben Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. So long, everybody.